with who you got. I think this is a very important ball game. Get that taste out of your mouth what happened over the weekend. Great thing about baseball, you don't have to wait a long time. Now, it's unusual to wait 2 days a lot of times, but because last week was a Thursday, Friday, Saturday series, so you had 2 days off. So they're back to work. It's a normal week, Tuesday, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday this week.
All right, glad to have you with us on the simulcast tonight. Those of you listening certainly on our flagship stations in Austin, part of iHeartRadio, and on 103.1 FM tonight, and those of you watching on SEC Network Plus. Glad to have you along for tonight's simulcast. Damian Ruiz will lead it off for the Cardinals. He's batting .402 with 7 homers and 41 runs batted in. Being ready to go, and first pitch of the ball game is in there for a called strike. Ruiz is a sophomore from Livingston down in southeast Texas. Began his collegiate career at Houston Christian. When picking up a little bit from the north coming in, and that pitch floats in for a called strike quickly, being ahead of him, 0-2.
Yeah, good changeup. He was working a lot on that in between starts. And when he can get that over consistently, it improves everything else about it, his other pitches.
The 0-2, and that one misses down and in for a ball. Those of you watching, you can see the shadow that's creasing the mound and now falling back toward the backside of the mound. So the hitter and the pitcher in the shadow to start the ball game. Here's the 1-ball, 2-strike pitch from Cade Bing, working in to Damian Ruiz. And he swings and lifts a high fly ball to shallow center. Gasparino had to get a quick jump on it, but he does to make the catch for out number one. So one gone.
In 50 games, this is his 51st start. He's got 76 hits. This guy's been a really good offensive player. That's a big out. Get the out to start the ball game.
One down now. Matt Ryan, the third baseman, who's batting .271, 6 homers, 22 runs batted in. Ryan, senior from Bethesda, Maryland, started off at UMBC, the former UMBC Retriever. Utility infielder, and tonight at third base. So he takes a pitch up and away for a ball. Being ready with the 1-0. Big swing and a miss on that one. 1 ball, 1 strike to count. Cade works relatively quickly when the situation presents itself into the windup in the 1-1. And that one missed downstairs, and it's 2 balls and a strike, the count, to Matt Ryan.
He pitches from the first base side of the rubber, really tries to control that glove side command with his heater.
Here's the 2-1 delivery, and that's hit on the ground foul.
Great changeup right there. And down on the count, go to the changeup.
So the count is 2 balls and 2 strikes. Good pass. The third base coach down in the third base coaching box. Of course, Will Davis is in his 6th season as the head coach at Lamar. And the 2-2, and that is fouled in the screen. Will, very close friends with the Longhorns' associate head coach Nolan Kane, teammates at LSU, and in fact, Nolan, a groomsman in the wedding for Will Davis. 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Bing with the 2-2. And that is hit and yanked, but pulled foul.
Bing left that one up. They went back to the changeup, but he left it inside. And got to get that ball to have that little fade away, and you want to stay away with that changeup. You make a mistake inside, it gets hit hard. Fortunately, that was pulled foul.
So 2 balls and 2 strikes to count to Matt Ryan, the Cardinal third baseman. And being ready to go again. The 2-2. And that is strike 3 call. Got him looking there, and he came back with it, Keith, to get the strikeout.
That was a good one. This came out of his hands. Had the great arm speed with it, and that's what sets it up as a hitter. You see the arm speed, and you think the ball's coming quickly, and just died out of his hands.
So 2 down for Braden Evans, the left fielder. Evans is batting .303, 8 homers, 50 runs batted in. For Evans, their RBI leader from the left side of the plate. Swing and a miss there on strike 1.
Went to the slider with the first pitch then.
Evans, a junior from Pearland, just south of Houston. Played at First Baptist, then was at Wharton County, just down Highway 59 from the greater Houston area to begin his collegiate career before transferring to Lamar. Swing and a miss, strike two. So far, Cade Being bedeviling the Cardinals with off speed.
Yeah, he's done a nice job, and he's used his fastball enough to make them think about it.
No balls, 2 strikes the count. And time called now. Bright sunny skies here after a lot of rain and dark clouds and stormy conditions this morning here in the greater Austin area. The 0-2, and he couldn't check his swing. Went around back-to-back strikeouts for Cade Being, who works a 1-2-3 top of the first. We go. So Sutton ready to go with the first pitch for the Cardinals. And it's in there for a called strike. 90 on the gun on the fastball.
He starts out in the stretch position.
Elligan won the count. Working from the stretch. Here's the 0-1 pitch coming to Schuessler. And that's there with a fastball at 91 for strike two. Kimball, in the last 5 ball games, is batting only .211. That includes that 3 games against Arkansas. But in the last 10, Schuessler .333. No balls, 2 strikes the count. Here's the 0-2. And that's off the foot. Foul ball. Longhorns, for those of you listening on the radio side of this, in the home whites tonight with the white cap with the burnt orange block letter T, the white jersey top with Texas emblazoned in burnt orange block print capital lettering across the front, the burnt orange numeral beneath it, and the large burnt orange numeral gracing the back. The white jersey tops, the white trousers, the burnt orange stripe down the side, the burnt orange socks, and the white shoes.
As we started the game, Craig, there was no breeze. Now we have a pretty stiff breeze coming in from the north.
Another 0-2 pitch coming to Schuessler, and he takes off the plate.
It's not a February breeze where we're freezing to death, put it that way. But it's a May northerly breeze.
Yeah, and it's more. Correct me if I'm wrong. A lot of times we get that northwesterly breeze coming in. This is right
out
in
of the due north.
Yeah, right in the face of the hitters. The 1-2, and that's downstairs, and the count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Lamar in road grays tonight, the gray cap. And we have the LU interlocking in red. Both teams in the pinstriped look tonight. The 2-2. And this is chopped on the ground. Slow chopper to third. Up with it, Ryan, the throw to first in time to retire Schuessler for out number 1.
Well, that's the sink to his fastball. We did not see one breaking ball in the at-bat. It was just a bunch of good sinking fastballs, about 90 miles an hour.
1 down. Ryland Galvan, the catcher, comes to the plate. .319 the batting average. Team tying 13 home runs and 39 RBIs for the CUDA. Steps in from the right side. First pitch is off the plate for a ball. Ryland, of course, is from Sinton, where he played for lifetime Longhorn Adrian Alanis, a big part of that 2005 national championship team 20 years ago, which will be honored here this coming Saturday in the final Traditions event here. 1-0, couldn't check his swing, and it is 1 ball and 1 strike. And of course, Adrian, a big part of that, threw a no-hitter that year against Oklahoma. Has had incredible success at Sinton with multiple state championships. And there's a couple of Pirates, former Sinton Pirates on this one. Galvan, of course, a 3-year starter here at Texas. And Jaquay Stewart, who transferred in this season from Northwest Florida Community College. So 1 ball and 1 strike, the count to Ryland Galvan. Carter Sutton out of the stretch with a 1-1. It's low and away for ball 2. Bright sunny skies over most of the field. The lights are on here at the ballpark. And you see the shadow. Those of you watching on the simulcast on SEC Network Plus can see the shadows falling toward the first base side now. As Sutton is back in the sunlight. The pitch is low for ball 3, and Galvan has worked it into a hitter's count.
The right side of the field's what you have to really worry about. Balls in the air. looking right back into it, especially in right center.
3 balls and a strike, and that's inside for ball 4. So Galvan draws the walk. Ryland leads the team in drawing the free pass, the base on balls. That's his 39th walk of the year. 42nd free pass, including 3 times being hit by a pitch. So a runner on with 1 out. That brings Jalen Flores to the plate. Jalen's batting .267, 12 homers, 49 runs batted in. Maybe pulling himself out of a bit of a slump as he hit 2 home runs in the Saturday loss to Arkansas.
Second one, opposite field last.
He did.
They're having pitch count problems.
Yeah. Had 1 pause with it earlier. Now the catcher, Skinner, is going to go over and they're going to swap out the pitch comm equipment for the Lamar catcher. We mentioned that Lamar, a contender in the Southland Conference, but it's been an incredible season for UT Rio Grande Valley, which swept Lamar in the first conference series of the year back in March. The Vaqueros really kind of haven't looked back. They've been in a battle also with Southeastern Louisiana, who Lamar just played over the weekend, and the Cardinals dropped 2 of 3 to the Lions in that series. But it's been a battle, those 3 in McNeese State throughout the course of the year. McNeese falling off of late, but the Cardinals, tough customer, should make that Southland tournament, which is already, it has an interesting format, even more intriguing when they begin play. Here's the pitch, and that one misses downstairs for a ball. Lamar concludes its regular season this weekend at home against HCU, Houston Christian, and then they'll have the conference tournament after that. Here's the 1-0 delivery, and that bounces in the field turf, and having to scramble back to the bag was Galvan. He wasn't sure how far that ball got away from Skinner.
Skinner did a nice job knocking that down, keeping that in front. That was a 54-footer, and that's the toughest one to block when it's way out in front, because you're hoping it comes up, and it did come up, and he got his chest protector on it to knock it down and keep Galvan at first.
2-0 the count to Jalen Flores. Sutton with a pitch, and that's taken for a strike, a fastball, 2-1. So the Southland tournament actually begins next week with a couple of best-of-3 series. And then out of that, the teams advancing to the conference tournament championship series will play a best-of-3. The 2-ball, 1-strike pitch. This is hit on the ground to third. Could be 2, a throw to second for 1. The relay to first is not in time. The ball was moving slowly enough to where they couldn't turn the 5-4-3 double play. The lead runner, Galvan, retired at second base. Flores replaces him as the runner at first on the fielder's choice, and they're 2 down.
Galvan slid straight into the bag. There was a little contact there, but you have the right as a runner. If you slide straight in and don't pop up, you have that right to go straight into the bag. So there was a little contact. Second baseman was looking around. He was trying to figure out, hey, I have a chance to get a double play here, and umpire immediately shook his head.
2 down. First pitch to Will Gasparino is a fastball for a strike. Will is batting .264, hit his 13th home run of the season on Saturday afternoon. Tied for the team lead in homers, number 2 in RBIs is Gasparino. The 0-1 off the plate. Will, of course, the sophomore out of Harvard Westlake in the Los Angeles area. Had a 34-game on-base streak from February 28th to April 26th. And 8 of his 13 home runs have come since March 25th. So really in the last 6 weeks. Ball and a strike to count to Gasparino with 2 down, and that pitch off the plate for ball 2. And it's 2 balls and a strike to Will.
It's a pitcher back in the sun now. It's an odd vision for you as a hitter. Pitcher's back out in the sun and score.
2-1, swing and a miss, and Flores was going, and he is going to be out. So Jalen Flores out at second base and out to retire. The Longhorns, as Carter Sutton winds up facing the minimum despite yielding the 1-out walk. No runs, no hits, nobody left. We're through 1 complete at UFCU Dish Falk Field. No score, Texas and Lamar. Longhorn baseball continues in a moment. And that one never got off the ground. Very cold rain. Shift is on for Texas as Reese Beheeler leads it off for Lamar. From the left side against the left-hander, Cade Bing. Beheeler batting .295, 4 homers, 25 runs batted in. Swings at the first pitch, lifts a high fly ball to right, but playable for Tommy Farmer. 1 pitch, 1 out here in the top of the second.
Well, he got it on the barrel, just had to popped it up, just missed it. Hitting that ball a long way.
With 1 down, the catcher Zach Skinner stands in. Skinner's batting .269. 4 homers and 49 runs batted in for Skinner. Right-handed hitting junior from Melbourne, Australia. Started off at Vernon College up northwest of Wichita Falls, up US 287. He looks at the first pitch, strike from Bing. Cade in that bright sunlight now as the shadows fall toward the first base side, and couldn't check his swings. A little sweep around for a miss, and quickly Bing ahead of Skinner. No balls, 2 strikes.
Well, he's got great arm speed with his changeup tonight.
0-2 the count. Bing with a long pause now ready with the 0-2. And this one's hit right back up the middle. Backhanded, but unable to turn it is Rodriguez. And Zach Skinner becomes Lamar's first base runner.
Well, A-Rod was going to have to catch and throw in the same motion. It was going to be really difficult to get an out. I would think that's an infield hit, the first base hit of the ball game by either club.
So 1 out, 1 on, and Easton Culp, the designated hitter, stands in. Culp is batting .245, no homers, and 7 runs batted in. And from the right side, first pitch, down and in for a ball. And Culp from the Central Texas area. Easton out of Harker Heights, originally from Salado, right just on the other side of the lake there. Swings here and yanks it foul past third. His dad, Randy Culp, is the head coach at Harker Heights and had played high school ball with our own Mike Hardball Harge from our AM flagship station, AM 1300 The Zone, drafted out of high school by the Montreal Expos just as Harge was 3 years after Mike in the 13th round. So a baseball family. 1 out, 1 on. Here's the 1-1. And that's downstairs for ball 2. It was an infield single, by the way, if you were scoring, for Zach Skinner to reach first base. So it's the first hit of the ball game for either side. And it's 2 balls and a strike right now. The count to the DH, Easton Culp. The 2-1. Swings here, and this is a little flare shot back behind short, but playable for Flores. He'll make the catch on the humpback liner, and they're 2 down.
You gotta love what Jalen Flores did right there. He looked at the runner coming from home plate. And if he hadn't have taken off and gone toward first base and we could clip, I think he might have let that ball fall if he thought he could get an out at first to start with. But he saw that he was running and went ahead and secured the baseball.
With 2 down, it's the center fielder, Eladio Moreno, at the plate on the left side, and looks at the first pitch for a strike. Moreno's batting .332, no homers, 29 runs batted in. Eladio is from Pearland. Began his collegiate career at Angelina College up in Lufkin. Senior now. Takes that pitch for strike 2. Excellent pitch right on the outside edge.
On the shift put in by Texas.
No balls, 2 strikes to count. That heavy shift on in the 0-2. And that is ground ball back up the middle. It's a backhanded flip there as Rodriguez goes to Flores, and that'll retire Lamar in the second. No runs on a hit and a man left through an inning and a half in this Tuesday night non-conference finale at UFCU Dish Falk. It was a 2-4 caught stealing, by the way, if you were scoring. And the first pitch to Gasparino misses upstairs for a ball. So, Keith, we've talked about it on several occasions. And I'm curious also now with the wind picking up as well from the north about this optical challenge that the hitters face, at least for the moment anyway, as Sutton releases the 1-0 and it's outside, 2 balls, no strikes. When it's coming out of the bright sunlight into the shadow, you've often said it's more about the spin on breaking balls and less about the fastballs.
Yeah, you can see the fastball out of his hand, so you know it's really what it is, but it's hard to designate spin.
The 2-0. That's there for a strike.
And then the other part of that helps it now is it settles a little bit in the direction. The batter side doesn't have the sheen now that it did. When we started the ball game, it had a real sheen on it. Now it's gone away a little bit now.
2 balls and a strike, the count in the 2-1. Gasparino sends it foul over to Nolan Kane, the associate head coach who works the third base coaching box. He'll toss it into the stands to a fan. The student assistant coach, Michael Cantu, works the first base coaching box for Texas. The count is even at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Here's the 2-2. And a foul tip into the mitt for a strikeout. Gasparino becomes Carter Sutton's first strikeout victim. It's out number 1 here in the Texas second.
He's got a real quick arm. It's just above sidearms, more three-quarter delivery with a little sink, but it's quick. The ball sort of jumps out of his hands, and Longhorns have not quite squared.
Flower Mound in the Dallas-Fort Worth area. First pitch misses downstairs. Of course, he's had to bat exclusively left-handed for a bit, what with that edema and the bone bruise on the hamate that's taken some time to heal, but obviously in the right position, about left-handed against the right-hander, Carter Sutton. The 1-0 is low for ball 2, and it's 2 balls and no strikes.
Set on one pitch in one spot now. See the fastball and the change.
2-0, the count to A-Rod. And the pitch. And that is lashed foul out of play on the third base side. Another huge crowd and fans still making their way into the ballpark here on this final midweek game of the season. Rodriguez back in the box with a count of 2 balls and a strike. The 2-1. That's upstairs for ball 3. 3-1 the count. Rodriguez, leading hitter over the last 5 ball games for Texas. 7 for 17 with a homer, a couple of doubles, 2 runs batted in, drawn a couple of walks. 323 in the last 10 games for the Longhorns. The 3-1. And that's outside ball 4. And for the second consecutive at bat, the Longhorns have a 1-out base runner.
That's a good at bat. He laid off. He had one good pitch to hit and fouled it back. And that he earned the walk. Wouldn't be surprised to see him take off. I mean, Texas is trying to create a little more on the base paths than they were doing early in the year. They were slugging more, but you also have two of your main guys out of the lineup now.
No question. So now, here's Farmer at the plate. Tommy Farmer, the 4th, looks at first pitch for a strike. Tommy batting .259 with a homer, 22 runs batted in. Hit his first career home run, came in his 142nd career at bat back a little over a week ago. Throw over to first. Rodriguez is back safely. A-Rod is 11 out of 12 on the base paths. By the way, now a 14-game on-base streak for Rodriguez. He has a 7-game hitting streak at the moment as well. Trying to extend that tonight. Now they get 1 to count to Farmer. And that was chopped foul. Tommy, one of the California Longhorns from Santa Monica at Oaks Christian, sophomore. So no balls and 2 strikes to count. Sutton a throw over to first. Again, Rodriguez hustling back to the bag. wind has kicked up. At first pitch, it really was almost non-existent.
It was nothing.
It's coming into the face of the hitters now. The 0-2 will be delayed. Another throw to first, and again, Rodriguez scrambling back to the bag. Once more, Rodriguez will draw the lead from first. Now the 0-2 to Farmer. And that bounces down in the field turf. Nice block by the catcher, Skinner. A long look into the dugout, both from Rodriguez and Michael Cantu over there by the first base bag. Ball and 2 strikes the count to Farmer. And that one gets away. Farmer will hustle down and he will make it. That is a
man on
strikeout.
first. He can't make first
He
base.
is out and able to make second on the pitch that got away from Skinner is Rodriguez. It is 2 outs on the swinging strikeout by Adrian Rodriguez, or by Farmer, but Adrian Rodriguez advances to second base. So runner at second, 2 down, 2 strikeouts in the inning, wrapped around the walk by Carter Sutton. And Cole Chamberlain in the DH spot. It's his first start since April 1st. 9th of his career for the freshman left-handed hitting catcher by trade. Chamberlain DHing tonight. First pitch misses downstairs for a ball. Chamberlain this season batting just 147, no homers, has 2 runs batted in. He's 5 for 34 at the plate. And
they're going to call that a pass ball, so that's much different than a wild pitch. It's a strikeout and pass ball.
So Rodriguez at second on the pass ball, and the pitch misses low. It's 2 balls and no strikes. Just got right underneath Skinner and he couldn't come up with it. So Rodriguez, the runner at second base. Chamberlain at the plate. And it's 2-0 to Cole, and he draws ball 3. I mentioned that Cole is only batting 147, but he's drawn 12 walks this season as well.
He's got a good eye.
Three 3-0 the count to Chamberlain. Pitch, and that's inside, ball 4. Chamberlain draws his 13th walk of the season. So 2 strikeouts, 2 walks in the inning, 3 walks overall issued by Carter Sutton. Casey Borba comes to the plate. Casey batting 240, 8 home runs, 29 runs batted in for Borba, sophomore from Santa Ana, California, at Orange Lutheran. Signs being flashed around the infield by the catcher, Zach Skinner. 2 on and 2 out for Borba. Casey trying to get back on track now, just hitting .206 over the last 10 ball games, 188 over the last 5 contests. It's a tough weekend for just about all the Longhorn hitters up at Fayetteville, clearly. The first pitch to Borba, and that one gets away from the catcher, Skinner. And moving up 90 feet to third base is Rodriguez. To second is Chamberlain.
Well, I think that's back-to-back pass balls are within 2 hitters here. It's timeout. We're going to have a visit on the mound here, but see if the Longhorns can take advantage of this opportunity.
Sean McGrath, the pitching coach, will walk out to visit with Carter Sutton. So now at third base is Rodriguez at third. Chamberlain at second. Borba at the plate. Ball and no strikes. The count to Casey. The right-hander Carter Sutton. Here's the 1-0. And that's downstairs. 2 balls, no strikes. The count.
Well, Sutton had 17 walks in 42 1/3 coming in, Greg. So it wasn't like he was prone to a bunch of walks. That's, you look at that average, that's somewhere around 3.5 a ball game.
The 2-0 delivery, that's taken all the way for a strike. 91 on the fastball, and it's 2 balls and 1 strike. The count. 2-1 to Casey Borba with 2 down and 2 on here in the bottom of the second. The pitch. And that's low, not by much, but it is. And now it's 3 balls and a strike.
If you're Casey, you want to make him get it up. He's throwing a lot of sinking fastballs. Get something you can get extended on. If it's not there, take it. Got an extra pitch to work with.
3 balls and a strike the count. Here's the 3-1 to Borba. And he takes high and away for ball 4. So 2 strikeouts this inning for Carter Sutton, but 3 walks, and that's going to get the Cardinal bullpen stirring. As the number 9 hitter, Jonah Williams, will come to the plate. Jonah batting .364, no homers, 3 runs batted in, and what is becoming less and less the need to talk about limited duty. He has 22 at bats, but 8 hits on that. He's driven in 3 runs, a couple of walks, hit batter. 6 starts, he's batting .400.
42nd pitch of the ball game coming.
So with the bases loaded, Williams swings at the first pitch, and they'll come right home to get the force to end the inning. As it popped right to the pitcher, Carter Sutton, and he's able to get Williams on the fielder's choice. 1-2.
You don't put that in your scorecard very often.
No, I was just thinking about that. A 1-2 fielder's choice to end an inning.
Yeah.
That doesn't happen that often, but it did here. No runs, no hits, and the Longhorns leave them loaded. We go to the 3rd, scoreless, Texas and Lamar. Longhorn baseball continues in a moment. 2 innings, and he'll face the second baseman, Bryce Grisafi, who leads it off for the Cardinals, batting .276 with a homer and 14 runs batted in. Swings to the first pitch, and that is a humpback liner out the second. 1 pitch, 1 out for the second straight inning. This time Bing gets him to pop 1 out to Adrian Rodriguez at second base.
Caught it right off the end of the bat. And again, that's that movement. Bing's been really good at not being in the middle of the plate, changing speed so far. It's a pretty good offensive club that Lamar has. He's held him to 1 hit so far.
1 down for the shortstop, Zane Spin. He's batting .317, 4 homers, 43 runs batted in. He swings at the first pitch, pops this in the shallow left, being tracked to the line and caught in foul ground by Jonah Williams. Lost the hat and went sprawling, but held on to the ball, and they're 2 down.
I think Jonah got fooled for the first time. This north breeze, we just haven't had much of it this year. And this ball got really hit by it, and it started pushing it to the line. He thought he had a beat on it, then at the last minute he had to accelerate. He's got that acceleration and comes up with the play.
So 2 down. And back to the top of the order to Damian Ruiz. And well, it was a tight fit there right toward the line for Jonah, able to get it as the first pitch is a strike to Ruiz. Nothing in 1 the count with 2 down. 2 first pitch outs for Bing. That one's bunted, however, and it's going to roll foul. Move by the pitcher to let it roll foul. Kate looks in down. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Ruiz, and that takes upstairs for a ball. Being ready to go again. And the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch. It's chopped foul at the plate.
This is really good numbers for this leadoff hitter. 190 at bats, 76 hits. And to throw with that in, 76 hits, 47 walks. I mean, he just sets the table at the top of this line.
And 12 out of 13 in steals for a team that doesn't run a ton. Off the plate, 52 out of 60 coming in. Run some. We've seen some.
And it's a good league they're playing in. Yeah. There are 4 teams in this league, and all deserving a chance to get into the postseason.
2 balls, 2 strikes, the count. Bing with a 2-2. And this one's hit in the air, and that's a good hit. That one's going to go to the alley in right center. Up with the ball is going to be Gasparino. It'll be an opposite field, 2 out, 2 strike double for Damian Ruiz.
I rest my case.
Yeah, pop his average right back above the 400 mark again. So the Cardinals with their second hit and have a runner in scoring position for the first time of the ball game. 2 down. Matt Ryan struck out looking his first time up.
Well, second time through the lineup, you got to change it. Bing was really good, folks, with his changeup the first time through. He's really had the guys out in front. Now the second time, a lot of times you need to go back to glove side command fastball to make that changeup effective again.
Longhorns will shift the infield over. The second baseman Rodriguez to the shortstop side of the second base bag, and even further over now as the first pitch misses for ball 1. So 3 infielders shifted over on that left side. And that one's hit right to Flores, and that will end the inning. Ryan put a good swing on it. Jalen Flores in perfect position for the catch and the out. No runs on a hit and a man left. To the bottom of the third we go. No score. Texas nothing. Lamar nothing. Longhorn baseball continues at home. With regard to the Southland Conference, they have teams in action tonight as well, and some interesting things going on there. First pitch from Carter Sutton to Kimball Schuessler. Swings here and on one hop to third. Matt Ryan has it. Throws to first, and for a guy who's thrown 42 pitches through the first 2 frames, you like getting a 1 pitch out to open the inning.
Yeah, you did it. Ball just pounded it into the ground right too. Just a perfect little hop to the third baseman. 1 pitch, 1 out.
So 1 down for Ryland Galvan. I mentioned that here's Lamar in contention, albeit in 4th place in the Southland Conference standings right now. And we talked about those other 3 teams that have been fighting through it. Galvan walked his first time up before being forced out at second. Looks at the first pitch for a strike. UT Rio Grande Valley, which is in excellent position to perhaps win the league. It's going to be very close. They're done with their conference schedule, and Southeastern Louisiana's 2 games back with 1 series left. Here's the 0-1 to Galvan, and that's outside. But you have UT Rio Grande Valley, who's 33-15. They're playing up the road from us in Waco tonight, and they're up 3-0 on Baylor in the 3rd inning. I mean that.
They've been playing good ball. They went to Tech and won 2 ball games.
They did. Ball and a strike the count to Ryland Galvan. Couldn't check his swing, went around. So you have UTRGV is 33-15 leading the South. Southeastern Louisiana's 35-13. McNeese is 30-13. Lamar's 37-14, and Northwestern State's 31-18. So you got some good ball clubs in that league. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count to Galvan. 1-2 pitches off the plate for a ball. And that's 2-2.
Has a protection in the back of his left hand come off, and so there'll be no timeout here. Restart pace clock, and he actually takes it off with his left hand. Puts it in his back pocket. I guess probably the Velcro may have worn out on him.
2 balls, 2 strikes to count. Now
that's a warning because you didn't allow Galvan to raise his hit and look out to the mound. I tell you, the base rules slow things down more than they speed it up. I can't help it. That's just the way I feel about it.
2-2 the count. The big issue, as we talked about, is the consistency issue with that and how it's enforced. 2-2 swing and a miss on the foul tip into the mid. And that's the second strikeout for Carter Sutton under 2 down here in the 3rd. So make it the 3rd strikeout, for Sutton. 2 down for Jalen Flores. Reached on the fielder's choice but was thrown out trying to steal second base, and that closed out the 1st inning. In the SEC tonight, Tennessee, which has had some stumbles of late. Volunteers lost 2 out of 3 at home to Auburn in a rain-soaked weekend in Knoxville. But
that jumped Auburn. Did you see Auburn's RPI jump?
Yeah. As a result of that, on the road and getting that series victory, showing bunt was Flores and takes it off the plate. No trouble for the Volunteers tonight with Indiana State. They're up 12-1 going to the 7th at Lindsey Nelson Stadium. Florida comes in here this weekend, Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. The Gators
need wins.
And got some over the weekend against South Carolina. 1-0 pitch, and that is hit toward the alley in right center, but in position to make the catch is Ruiz. Got a great jump on it and hauls it in, and Carter Sutton works a 1-2-3. Bottom of the third, we'll continue our look around the SEC coming up, but through 3 complete here at UFC Disch-Falk Field. No score, Texas on the for the Cardinals. Shift in play for Texas. Adrian Rodriguez out in shallow right. And swinging the first pitch and lifting it foul. Out of play was Evans. For strike 1 to Braden. Still sunlight's going to bother the right side of the field, especially the outfielders. And that pitch is bunted to the empty side, and that's going to be a bump base hit. Nothing you can do about that. Longhorns have to shift on, and that's how you beat it, as Evans is aboard with a bunt single.
Evans has got some pop. Look at it and say, all right, we're going to shift, and we're going to say, if we want to bunt, bunt. He leads their team in home runs. He leads their team in RBIs. Now, it is a leadoff single, but it's not in the scoring position.
Yeah, I think that's the difference on that is that it is the leadoff man, but not in scoring position. Now they go after Reese Beheeler, the first baseman, who swung at the first pitch back in the second and flied to right. From the left side, and Beheeler looks at a pitch off the plate, Beheler, Reese Beheeler. And he's from Sugar Land, out of George Ranch High School down there in Fort Bend County. Also played at Wharton County. And that pitch is in there for a strike.
Right at the top of the zone. Had plenty of plate. It was just right at the very top.
Ball and a strike to count in a lefty-lefty matchup. Cade Bing against Reese Beheeler. That pitch misses low and outside, 2-1. So continuing our look, we were talking about Florida, and they had the big weekend at South Carolina. And they're at home against South Florida, and they're trailing 2-1 top of the 6th in that one. Of course, the Gators will be here Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. 2 balls and a strike to count. The 2-1. It's off the plate for ball 3, 3-1. Kansas and Missouri are playing again, this time in Columbia. Old border war, old Big 12 foes. Of course, Mizzou in the Southeastern Conference, Kansas in the Big 12. KU up 3-0. That's bottom of the 3rd in Columbia.
KU had a tough weekend.
And that is strike 2 as Beheeler started to toss away the bat. Now he'll be back to the plate. Yeah, Kansas swept by Cincinnati in the topsy-turvy world of the Big 12 conference.
I couldn't tell you who's going to come out of that conference.
3 balls and 2 strikes to count of Beheeler. The payoff popped up right side and foul ground. Galvan wants it. He'll wait and toss the mask away late, but it's going to go over the screen.
Usually comes back, but this time just the wind from center just pushed it back far enough. As it started back, it just caught the top of the screen. He was right there to make the play. Played it perfectly, it just didn't come back to the field to play.
So they'll do it again on 3 balls and 2 strikes. Missouri, meanwhile, and they've started to attract some national attention for being 0-24 in the Southeastern Conference. They came so close to beating Georgia on Sunday. 3-2 the count. Another payoff pitch to Reese Beheeler. And he swings here and lifts a high fly ball to right. Playable for Farmer with the shades down in the sunlight to make the catch for the first out of the inning.
I believe they have Texas A&M this weekend.
Yeah. And it's a tough weekend for Mizzou. It's been tough. They've lost a lot of close games, 1-run games. And when the Longhorns went up there, they pretty much handled their business and did Texas and jumped all over them. But they've had some close losses. They had a couple of close losses to Missouri. It was a 2-2 ball game in the 9th. Skinner at the plate. And waves at the first pitch. Did not. That's low for ball 3. 3-0 to Skinner. 2 games have been canceled. LSU was to have hosted Grambling. and Texas A&M was to have played at Houston tonight.
Oh, that storm that came through here is
dropped all over the greater Houston area. 3-0 the count to Skinner, and that pitch is taken all the way for a strike, so it's 3 balls and a strike to Zach Skinner. Being ready to go. 3-1 to the Cardinal catcher, and that's inside ball 4. So back-to-back one-out walks, or excuse me, a bunt single and a walk sandwiched around the fly ball to right. But there are 2 on back-to-back innings where a runner's been able to reach scoring position for the Cardinals. This time, Evans up to second, Skinner to first. First walk issued.
His first pitch will be Bing's 50th of the night.
As he works to Easton Culp, the DH. He popped to short back in the second inning. That pitch misses inside, ball 1.
Early in the game, he had that glove side command, and I thought he might see a visit, and that might also get the bullpen stirring just a little bit for Texas.
Max Weiner, the Longhorns pitching coach, out to visit with him. Seeing some walking around out there. There's a good chance you heard it in the pregame conversation. Those of you listening in the radio broadcast, you heard in the pregame, you heard Jim Schlossnagle mention it. There's a good chance we could see Cody Howard back out there tonight. He's pitched really well of late, even in the Arkansas series. You know, there a lot of guys struggled in that Arkansas series. Cody was not one of those guys. So a 1-0 count to Easton Culp. 2 on with 1 out here in the 4th and no score.
It's a normal week. You had 2 days off leading in there, so everybody in the bullpen is rested enough, and you got 2 days after this before you come back on Friday. So you'll play to win this game, whoever you need, whatever matchup you need.
A 1-0 to Culp. That one gets away from Galvan up on the screen, and the runners will advance 90 feet, similar to what we saw last at bat for Texas. That one will be a wild pitch, as that one just bounced. It's 2 balls and no strikes.
I would think the Longhorns will play the infield back, and they'll exchange the out for the run right here. With runners at second and third.
2-0 the count. Wild pitch advancing Braden Evans to third base. Zach Skinner to second. Bing trying to settle back in now. The 2-ball 1 strike pitch. Swung on, and that's lined into left field. That's a base hit. That will score 1 run. And throw momentarily got away from Flores, but backing it up was Borba. But Lamar scores first. The Cardinals grab a 1-0 lead with runners on the corners and 1 out.
Nice job of coming to the plate, ready to hit. He got a fastball, and he turned and drove it to left field. It's the 4th hit of the game. First one, and it is Cody Howard up, starting to throw in the Texas bullpen.
Eladio Moreno had to do an inning-ending fielder's choice his first time up. So Cade Bing, who had pretty much cruised other than the double last inning through the first 3 frames, now has allowed a run. Runners on the corner, still only 1 out, and a throw over to first. Diving back is Culp, who has not attempted a steal. Neither is the runner at third, Skinner. Out of the stretch. Another throw over to first. Eladio Moreno at the plate. Lefty-lefty matchup. Bing will settle in now. And yet he'll throw to first again. We'll keep him close for sure. And try to keep the double play in order on the ground ball. And Jim Schlossnagle is going to come out, and that's going to be it.
For Lamar, no runs, no hits, no errors for Texas.
We're updating those scores and mentioning that UTRGV was up 3-0 on Baylor in the 3rd inning. The Bears have come up with a 9-run bottom
Wow.
of the third, highlighted a moment ago. Cortland Castle with a grand slam that went onto the soccer fields there past the Baylor ballpark. And so Baylor has jumped up 9-3 on the Vaqueros there. Here, now Ethan Walker just trying to limit the damage and keep this just a 1-run outing for Lamar here in the top of the 4th inning. And as Keith mentioned, maybe only the one batter.
More, but way up in front of the bag. Now you bring into play here the safety squeeze.
Sure enough, squaring, but taking the pitch low and away.
It's a very difficult defense to try to defend it. What you got to hope is that the bunter, that whoever's trying to bunt, can pop it up.
Moreno squaring, throw over to first, and diving back is Culp. Ethan Walker now to the stretch. Corners charge in, not squaring and taking the pitch for the strike. As Moreno, and the count is even at 1-1 strike.
As Moreno was thinking, he had both corners just exploding toward the plate. He just took it.
So a ball and a strike the count to Haladio Moreno. Here's the stretch now, not squaring, and takes the pitch off the plate for ball 2. You played both of those corner infield positions. What's going through your mind right now?
Well, if I'm third baseman, not a problem. If you're at first base, as you start charging, you got a real problem because there's no left-hand hitter at the plate.
2 balls and a strike, and he hits it right back to the mound. They'll go to second for 1, relay to first, in time! Double play inning over. Ethan Walker considered coming home for a moment, then decided to turn a 1-6-3 double play, and the Longhorns are out of the inning with minimal for Texas. Struck out swinging his first time up. Right-hander, Carter Sutton ready. First pitch misses inside for a ball. Sutton now at 51 pitches as he works here in the 4th. Here's the 1-0. It's upstairs, 2 balls and no strikes. He's been able to work around multiple base runners and walk the bases loaded back in the second. Got a couple of strikeouts, and then that fielder's choice comebacker to the box got him out of the inning. 2 balls, no strikes. The count to Gasparino. Will swing and a miss. It's 2-1.
Still got decent velocity, 90 miles an hour, and a little tail to it right at the end.
2 balls and a strike. The count. Sutton to Gasparino, the 2-1. That's on the inside corner call with a fastball. Count is even at 2-2. So 2 balls and 2 strikes. The count of Will Gasparino. And the pitch. Swing and a miss. He chased an elevated fastball. 4th strikeout for Carter Sutton. 1 gone in the bottom of the 4th.
Did a nice job raising eye levels. Goes with the two-seamer, then comes back with more of a 4-seamer, a runner up top, and Will couldn't catch up to him.
1 out, Adrian Rodriguez, who drew a walk, moved to second on a pass ball, moved to third on a pass ball, but then was forced at home on that aforementioned 1-2 comebacker to the mound that ended the Texas second. So Rodriguez from the left side. And the right-hander's first pitch, and it's fouled at the plate for strike 1.
Just in front of that breaking ball and just drove it into his right foot. He was trying to take his time. They have not started the pace clock yet.
Pace for the hitter, pitch for the pitcher. The timing clock. 0-1 the count. And that hit him. Almost in the first time. Hit him this time. And Rodriguez will take first base. Schlossnagle making sure he's all right. Adrian's okay. He just
that right foot's took some abuse there.
Boy, did it. So 1 out, base runner, and here's Tommy Farmer, who struck out swinging his first time out. Sutton, the right-hander, ready, and here's the first pitch to Tommy. Up tight. Missed with a fastball, 1-0 the count. The 1-0. That's a strike called with a fastball, and the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Got the shift on for Farmer. I've seen Tommy go to the right field more than the shift should be.
Farmer swing and a miss there. Bottom dropping out of that one, and it's 1 ball and 2 strikes.
Speed. Not in front.
One ball and 2 strikes the count of Tommy Farmer. Throw over to first, and Rodriguez diving back in safely. Now at 1-2, the pitch to Farmer, and he pulls it foul. Down the third base line and out of play.
Tried to go to a breaking ball, and he left it up. Tommy was just out in front of him. The only way he could hit that was pull it foul.
Farmer back in. The right-hander Carter Sutton ready. With another 1 ball, 2 strike pitch to Tommy Farmer. And that's down in the field turf, blocked by the catcher Skinner. Evens the count at 2-2. Carter Sutton with the 2 ball, 2 strike pitch. It'll eventually be thrown as he throws back over to first. Rodriguez dive it back. Two and two the count. The pitch swung on and a fly ball hit to shallow right. Moreno had started back, now comes running in, and he dropped it. And Rodriguez had gone far enough to where he could reach second base. Heads up running by Adrian so that they couldn't get a force after all was said and done. And the Longhorns have runners at first and second with 1 out.
Oh, it's just this breeze is just blowing straight in, and it just knocks this ball down. And Moreno was coming as quick as he could come, and I think he thought he had it, and he just let up a little bit, and then the wind knocked it down a little more, and it falls in front. Nice base running, as you mentioned, by A-Rod to make sure that he doesn't get thrown out when the ball falls in. And so a couple on here for Texas.
Yeah, it did fall in right in front of the sliding Moreno. He didn't touch it. So the runners at first and second with 1 out. Now Cole Chamberlain, who walked his first time up. The first pitch is a strike. Another opportunity with multiple base runners here for Texas. It is a single, a bloop single for Farmer, and that's hit on the ground to the right side, and that is going to be snagged by the second baseman. Nice play made by Grisafi to throw to Baheeler to get the out. Otherwise, it would have brought in a run and still only would have been 1 out. Now there's 2 down with 2 in scoring position for the second straight inning.
Yeah, this is an outstanding defensive play. Saves a run. There is a collision. No way to avoid it at first base. Glasses, pitch comms go flying in, helmets and everything. Everybody is okay, and everybody advances 90 feet. Really nice play.
And everybody was doing what they were supposed to do there.
We're going to ask if there was some kind of interference. There's absolutely nothing that Cole Chamberlain could do. I mean,
he's running in the running lane, and he does hit the green bag, not the white bag.
There's nothing he can do.
The ruling's going to stand, and now Casey Borba to the plate. Borba drew a walk last time with 2 in scoring position and 2 down. Loaded the bases, and it set the stage for Jonah Williams swinging at the first pitch and retired on the fielder's choice. First pitch misses down and in for a ball to Casey Borba.
66 pitches now. Cardinal right-hander.
Misses. Inside is 2 balls and no strikes. So now the count is 2-0 to Casey Borba. 3-0 to Casey Borba.
Went to an off-speed pitch and it was a slider that backed up. Don't think you'll see green light here.
Setting up just like the second inning. Casey walked to load the bases. It's 3-0 right now to Borba. And the 3-0, and that almost hit him. It's ball 4. And so, for the second time in 3 innings, the Longhorns had the bases loaded with 2 outs and Jonah Williams coming to the plate. Jonah hit that tapper back to the box, and Sutton came home to the catcher, Skinner, for a 1-2 fielder's choice to end the Texas second. Now, here's Jonah at the plate. Walk is the 5th of the ball game issued by Carter Sutton in addition to the hit batter. So the first pitch coming to Williams, and he takes it for a strike. Jonah, the freshman, left-handed hitter. The Galveston ball, of course, the outstanding 5-star football recruit, the safety, football signee for head coach Steve Sarkisian. 0-1 the count to Williams with 2 down. And that pitch is taken for strike 2.
Straight change. Fastball. Comes back with a changeup.
Bases loaded with 2 down. Here's the 0-2 to Jonah Williams. That's down and in for a ball.
Changeup, fastball, changeup. Pitch sequence to this point.
A ball and 2 strikes to count. Here's the 1-2 pitch to Jonah Williams, and he chops it on the ground. Going to be a tough play. Up with it, no play. Williams able to beat it out for an infield single. In from third to tie the score is Adrian Rodriguez. It's a 1-1 ball game with the bases still loaded and 2 outs.
Got on top of it, put it in play. That's what you got to do, and then uses his athleticism and speed to get down the line and drive in the run to tie the game, and now back to the top of the order. That could get the bullpen active.
I think it may. 4th career RBI for Jonah Williams. Tommy Farmer now at third base. Casey Borba at second. Jonah Williams at first. Kimball Schuessler, who twice has grounded out to third, stands in. So the base is still loaded with a run home and 2 down. First pitch to Schuessler misses inside for ball 1.
That 2-seamer in there just missed the inside corner.
Only the second hit of the ball game for Texas. The other was the Farmer base hit. This one hit on the ground, foul past third, and that was the one that blooped in front of the center fielder, Moreno.
Neither one of them did hit very well. They count.
Ball to strike the count with 2 down. Kimball's certainly capable of going the opposite way. We've seen him do it many times. If he's able to do that, he'd probably get a couple runs on him. Ball and a strike to count to Kimball Schuessler with 2 down. The 1-1. It's outside for ball 2. Carter Sutton closing in on 80 pitches as he works here. Still nobody throwing in the Lamar bullpen. Taking a close look now.
Let's go, Kimball!
2 balls and a strike to count to Schuessler. The 2-1. Up high for ball 3, and it's 3 balls and a strike. With Sutton's struggles this inning, as good a hitter as Kimball is, do you take a pitch?
Well, I am really zoning it out. Kimball likes the ball over the plate, and really when he's going well can drive it into right center. I'm looking at something I can do with that. If not, I'm taking it.
Here's the 3-ball, 1-strike pitch to Schuessler, and it hit him. It hit him. The second hit batter of the inning. It'll bring in another run. Schuessler chatting with the home plate umpire, Clint Fagan, as he walks down to first. In from third to score is Tommy Farmer. Casey Borba advances to third, Jonah Williams to second, and Kimball Schuessler, hit by a pitch to drive in a run, puts Texas in front 2-1.
Well, not be the end of the window. We have a left-hander starting, and starting quickly in the Lamar bullpen.
Here comes the pitching coach for the Cardinals, Sean McGrath. Galvan at the plate. And Ryland has walked and struck out swinging. So Tommy Farmer scores on the play. And you're right, Keith, it's been a bloop single and an infield single. And other than that, it's been 2 hit batters and a walk.
Command has been a problem. You didn't see that in his previous outings. I mean, he didn't show that he had a problem with that, but his control has been a problem right now in Texas. Can they take advantage of it? They didn't in the second. They have here for a couple, but they got a chance for a big number with something into the gap right here. 8th batter of the inning coming to the plate.
So now, here's Galvan. Well, the base is still loaded, 2 runs home and 2 down here in the 4th. Swings to the first pitch and hits the ball well, but should stay in the ballpark. Back to the warning track and caught by Moreno. He had to track it a long way, and the wind helped keep that from riding out. But the Longhorns take the lead. They score 2 runs in the inning on 2 hits, and they leave them loaded. We're through 4 complete at UFC Disch-Falk Field. It's now Texas 2, Lamar 1. Longhorn baseball continues in the moment.
Chúng nó đi cùng thì đi cá gần một mình nên đấy ngại sàn. Cuối Sóc Sơn. Đi một đoạn nữa tầm 1 cây 2 cây nữa là sang Thái Nguyên rồi. Vâng.
for a strike. Nothing in one the count. This one's hit on the ground to short. Up with it, Flores guns the throw to first in time for out number one.
Rylan Galvan quite upset. He's going to cover up. The bat was in front. Nothing that you do. A batter gets rid of the bat after he hits the ball. He trips over the bat, it falls down. So he chunks it toward the Lamar dugout. It's just one of those things. He's just frustrated that you fell on the ground. Nobody did anything intentional.
One down. Here's Zane Spin, the shortstop. He flied to left his first time up. First pitch misses for ball one. I was looking at Ethan Walker's number because he hasn't faced many right-handed hitters, and right-handers have gone 4 for 6 against him coming into the ball game. This pitch hit on the ground. This time Borba has it. He'll fire it to first. 2 down and no bat for Galvan to trip over there, and they're 2 quick outs. Ethan Walker.
Nice. He hadn't thrown many pitches, and he's gotten 4 outs.
So a chance maybe for him to finish out the inning. Now he's going to face the dangerous Damian Ruiz. We'll see if Jim Schlossnagle wants to stick with him here.
Well, he finishes out, and Texas holds on, and Lamar never ties it up. He's in line for a victory.
He will face Ruiz, who's flied to center and doubled. First pitch is in there for a strike. Nothing in one the count. With 2 down, the pitch from Walker. And that's fouled out of play, and Ethan's quick. The 0-2. Just missed upstairs. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes. And the 1-2. That's off the plate. It's 2 balls and 2 strikes to count. Two balls, 2 strikes. 2-2 pitch upstairs for ball 3. And it's 3-2.
I talked about the 77 hits, and 47 walks, but I didn't mention the 71 runs scored. Wow, that's a big number in college baseball.
Here's the 3-ball, 2-strike pitch to Damian Ruiz. And strike 3 called. Got him looking. Big moment there. Ethan Walker works a 1-2-3 top of the 5th inning. Jalen Flores was the only man not to bat for Texas in the 2-run 4th. And squares to bunt and looks at the first pitch from Sutton upstairs. That's pitch number 80 from Carter Sutton for ball 1.
I would think Sutton's window is closing and closing quickly. The bullpen is active and ready to go.
1-0 the count to Flores. And that's a fastball for a strike. 1 ball, 1 strike to Jalen, who's reached on the fielder's choice before being caught stealing and then fly to right. Pitch misses low and outside for ball 2, and it's 2 balls and a strike. Two and 1 to Flores, leading off the Texas 5th. And tried to check his swing and did. So it's now 3 balls and a strike. Down to first and palms down from the first base umpire Kyle Stutz. Three and 1 to Flores. And a 3-ball, 1-strike pitch from Carter Sutton. And that's upstairs ball 4. The walk is the 6th issue by Carter Sutton. It's a leadoff walk here in the bottom of the 5th. Bring Will Gasparino to the plate. Gasparino has struck out swinging twice against Sutton, the second and the fourth. With the left-handed Rodriguez due on deck, that might be when the left-hander is summoned from the Cardinal pen. It's the righty-righty matchup right now against Gasparino. And he squares to bunt, and then the ball popped out of the grasp of the catcher, Skinner, as he was trying to backpick the runner. And Furhurst trying to throw down toward where Flores was, and the ball just kind of popped out of his hand.
Which was a ball.
The bar of soap just coming out of your hands in the shower there. Popped straight in the air. 1-0 the count. And that pitch misses for ball 2, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Trying to add on here in the bottom of the 5th. They've only had the 2 hits last inning, but it helped produce the 2 runs along with the 2 hit batters in the walk from Sutton. Carter Sutton's pitch. And Gasparino pops it sky high. Ryan along the third base line, and it'll be the third baseman, Ryan, who makes the catch. Skinner called for it initially, and then Ryan said, "I'll take it," and does.
Was not an easy play, but did a nice job. He's on here, and not sure if this is a one batter situation, because you see his numbers. He doesn't have many innings in 5, now 6 appearances. But there is nobody throwing at just right now in the Cardinal bullpen. They start somebody quickly here. Longhorns with a 2-1 lead. If you're just tuning in, they took advantage of a bloop single and an infield hit. 2 runs on the board. Now here in the bottom of the 5th, starter out of the game, and Lamar to their bullpen.
So Colson Abel, former Tybee Antler from Kerrville, and then out of Lubbock Christian, now on to pitch here with a runner aboard and 1 out here in the 5th inning. Texas trying to extend and expand the lead. So the left-hander Colson Abel coming in now with Adrian Rodriguez coming to the plate. Now, we had mentioned how Adrian had season-long struggles batting against left-handed pitching, but not of late. Of late, he's done much better against left-handers, including having a hit over the weekend in Arkansas. Overall, he's hitting .205, 8 of 39, but considering that he was 2 for 27, he has 6 hits in his last 12 at-bats against left-handers. That's pretty good.
He's getting a feel, including an opposite field homer that capped the sweep of Texas A&M.
So he's in now. Abel ready with the first pitch. And that one misses inside for a ball. Rodriguez, we mentioned, extending his on-base streak to 14 games. He does have a 7-game hitting streak on the line. And obviously with a walk and being hit by a pitch, has not come up with a base hit yet. Colson Abel. The 1-0. That's low. 2 balls and no strikes to Rodriguez. Two and nothing to count to A-Rod. Here's the pitch. And that's low. 3 balls, no strikes to Rodriguez.
You got to take a strike here. Nobody's up, so.
Colson Abel, whipping the back of his jersey a bit. The 3-0, and that's not even close. So that's a 4-pitch walk. Rodriguez reaches base for the 3rd time without swinging the bat. But it's the 7th walk and the 9th free pass issued by Lamar pitching here through 4 1/3 innings of offensive baseball for Texas. Farmer, who added to the total, had that little blue pit in the shallow center that the wind knocked down for one of the 2 Texas hits and wound up scoring the second Longhorn run, comes to the plate here. 2 on with 1 out in the bottom of the 5th. Texas up 2-1. Colson Abel, the first pitch. And that's way off the plate for ball 1.
You know, we're saying Colson Abel because that's what it says on the roster.
He is Colson Abel. The stat sheet that was sent in had it listed as Abel Colson, and that's why on the stat monitor I double checked.
I'm going, huh?
He's listed as Abel Colson, but he's Colson Abel. The 1-0, and he's in there for a strike.
I was fixing to apologize, folks. Hey, sorry. But, okay. Makes me feel better.
Yeah. It does beg the question, is Colson able to get out of this inning here?
There you go.
The 1-1. Swung on and the ball hit well. This one out to deep left center, but the wind will hold it up long enough for the catch to be made by Baker. Tagging at second and moving to third is Flores. So there's runners on the corners with 2 down, and Tommy Farmer gave it a ride, but it's a long out, even though it did advance Flores to third base on out number 2.
We can probably have a pinch hitter now for Texas.
Yeah, and that's going to be Jaden Duplantier, who will come on to bat in the DH spot for Cole Chamberlain. So Jaden will dig in. Duplantier is batting 175. He has 7 hits and 40 at-bats, does Duplantier. No homers, 4 runs batted in. The young man his teammates know as Gumbo, the junior right-handed hitter out of Summer Creek High in the Humble ISD in the greater Houston area. So he comes to bat now, facing the left-hander Colson Abel. 2 down, runners on the corners here in the bottom of the 5th inning with Texas leading 2-1. Duplantier, the numbers say, yeah, this is what he wants to face. He's batting .313 against left-handers, .083 against righties. So he sees the ball well coming from the left side. First pitch is off the plate for ball 1. He's also batting .333 with runners on base, too. Runners on the corners with 2 down. The 1-0 to Gumbo. Takes low. 2 balls, no strikes.
They zone it out right here. Get a ball that you know you can handle. Put a good swing on it. Don't have to swing. That's what getting ahead. It just puts you in a situation you can look for the ball you want, you like.
Here's the 2-0 pitch. And he takes down and in for ball 3. Big nationally ranked matchup tonight in Conway, South Carolina. Coastal Carolina out of the Sun Belt Conference beating Clemson 5-3. They swept both games they played against the top 10 rated Tigers. 3-0 to Duplantier. And that almost hit him. It's ball 4, and Jaden draws a walk to load the bases for Casey Borba. Now the question is, will Lamar make another change? They've got another left-hander warming up right now on the pin.
Big moment right here. It's a chance to get some separation in this game right now. In a 2-1 ball game. Texas has not taken advantage to this point. All the free passes they've earned tonight.
8 walks and a hit batter. Make that 10. 8 walks and 2 hit batters. First pitch misses low for ball 1. 1-0 the count to Casey Borba. The left-hander Colson Abel. The 1-0. Down and in, ball 2.
I think you got to take a strike now. They may make a move to the bullpen right now.
Looks like that'll be the case. The right-hander had just started throwing a few minutes ago, but they're going to bring him in. So it's another call to the bullpen. For a right-handed pitcher, it's going to inherit a 2-0 count with the bases loaded and 2 down here in the bottom of the 5th. Texas leading 2-1. A pitching change break in Longhorn baseball continues in a moment. The right-hander here. And Fabian Ramirez will come on to face Casey Borba. And as we have detailed, Keith, the problem for Casey has been facing left-handed pitching, not right-handed pitching.
Yeah.
And
so it's a break.
Yeah, I mean,
in that sense, what's going on, it's a break. Now, he can really zone it out here. He's got a 2-0 count, and one of the toughest things to do is come in out of the bullpen and say, and know you got to throw a strike. But that doesn't necessarily mean as a hitter you have to go up there and think swing. You get a pitch that you like, a spot you like, and make sure you can put a good swing on it.
Well, to illustrate the point we were making this season, Casey was batting only 130 against left-handers and 307 against right-handers. So facing the right-hander, and he has a plus count, 2 balls and no strikes. So here's Fabian Ramirez about to face his first batter, and he inherits a 2-0 count on Casey Borba. Bases loaded for Texas. The 2-0. And that's inside ball 3.
Now you take a couple.
3 balls and no strikes, the count of Borba. Casey has already walked twice against the right-hander Carter Sutton, so facing a right-hander here. Here's the 3-0 pitch. Way outside ball 4. Borba will get credit for an RBI, a bases-loaded walk. Trotting in from third to score is Jalen Flores. And the Longhorns now lead 3-1.
We saw over the weekend the Longhorns struggle with some command situations, and it's really hard to win games. And Lamar has just given up so many free passes tonight. They're really fortunate to be in their game right now.
Jonah Williams had the RBI on the infield singles last time up. He comes to the plate with the bases loaded and 2 down, and a run home for Texas in the 5th. Jonah will look at the first pitch for a strike. So I've seen it both ways, Keith. If you're scoring, who gets charged with that walk?
The starter who started once he got to 2-0, it became his batter. So it was Colson.
Nabel who gets it. The 0-1. And that one misses inside. It's 1 ball and 1 strike. So ball and the strike the count. Here's the 1-1. And off the end of the bat, ground ball to third, just stepping on the bag is Ryan, and that will get Lamar out of the inning with a minimal amount of damage done. But the Longhorns do add another run, and they do that without the benefit of a base hit. They'll leave the bases loaded. It's it off. He struck out looking and lined out to short. The first pitch misses downstairs for a ball, so it's a season high. 1 2/3 innings and counting for Ethan Walker. The 1-0. And misses low. 2 balls and no strikes. The count. Cody Howard warming up again in the Texas bullpen. Two 2-0 to Ryan. The 2-0. And that's just barely off the plate, but it's ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. So 3-0 the count. And that's a 4-pitch leadoff walk to Matt Ryan.
Just been outstanding since coming into the game. And one thing that puts gray hairs on coaches, especially pitching coaches, is guys just coming in. He's just done a fantastic job, and then all of a sudden you start an inning and you throw 4 pitches and all 4 of them are outside the zone.
So lefty-lefty situation now with Braden Evans at the plate. It's the first walk issued by Walker and the second one overall for Texas. The first pitch is a strike on the outside corner.
You got two back-to-back left-handed hitters here, so I think Walker is in here for a little bit.
The pitch. It's outside. The count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike.
Cody Howard, I believe, is ready to go if need be in the pen.
1 ball, 1 strike, the count of Braden Evans. A 1-1. And that turned him inside out as he kind of ran in on him, and now it's 1-2. Pitch from Ethan there. That Baylor UTRGV game is far from finished. It was 3-0 UT Rio Grande Valley, then 9-4 Baylor. Now it's 9-3 Baylor. Now it's 9-6 as they play in the middle innings in Waco. 1 ball, 2 strikes, the count of Braden Evans. And the 1-2 from Walker. Swing and a miss. Foul tip into the mitt for the strikeout. It's the second strikeout for Walker, and that's out number 1 here in the top of the 6th.
I like it. Came back. This is a ball inside. It's a fastball in. It just comes back in and sinks in underneath the hands.
1 down for Reese Beheeler, who has flied to right both times. Longhorns will shift Borba back over to his regular third base spot, at least at the start of the at-bat, to Beheeler. The first pitch is a strike on the outside corner. Nothing in 1 the count. Walker set at the belt. A long glance over to first, but coming home, and the pitch is flared foul down the left field line and out of play.
When you get ahead, he's gotten ahead, Craig, with 2 fastballs. It has not shown him the breaking ball yet, so good time right here to drop down that little sidearm, big breaking ball that breaks all the way across the zone. You might get the strikeout.
It looks as though the Florida Gators will be coming in here off a loss. They're down 7-1 to South Florida going to the bottom of the 9th in Gainesville. Wow. South Florida has been a contender in the American, but UTSA is running away with that league title now. Here's the 0-2, and it hit him. Well, that's
the right pitch. He went to the breaking ball. He just got around it. So 2 free passes here, and all of a sudden, go-ahead run is coming to the plate. Tying runs are on base here in the 6th.
Zach Skinner coming to the plate, and Cody Howard will be coming out of the Texas bullpen. We have a call to the bullpen. The pitching coach pointed out to the pitchers. He said, when our guys he said to the pitchers, when you guys throw the ball in the strike zone, just get it in the zone. What are the teams batting? Less than 100. When you throw it down the middle even of the strike zone, they're only batting slightly above 100. So that's the rule of thumb, obviously, coming off a weekend where Texas pitching walked 22 batters and hit 9. And where 14 of Arkansas's 28 runs scored by players who were either hit by a pitch or drew a walk. So, like you said, there's no defense for it.
You can't defend it. It's impossible. You cannot defend it.
So now, just can't defend the base on balls. Now Zach Skinner at the plate. It's a righty-righty matchup, and the pitch is a strike at the knees at 90 on the gun. Cade Bing, the starter, went 3 1/3, allowed 4 hits, and a run that was earned. A walk, 2 strikeouts, a wild pitch. He threw 52 pitches. The 0-1. That's outside. 1 ball and 1 strike count. Ethan Walker's in line to get this one if the Longhorns maintain the lead. And it would be Ethan's first as a member of the Longhorns. The 1-1. Outside, 2 balls and a strike to count to Skinner. 2 balls and a strike the count to Zach Skinner. 2-1 pitch fouled straight back, and the count is even at 2-2.
Tied him up inside. He couldn't get his arms extended. He did foul it straight back, but he was tied up. He's got him set up with command that slider right here. I think he can get a strikeout.
2 balls, 2 strikes. The 2-2 pitch jammed him, and he fouled it back to the screen.
He came back with a heater. And a good one, 93.
So
with a count of 2 balls and 2 strikes, Howard sets himself again at the letters. The pitch, just low. Again, the fastball at 94 on the. Runners at first and second. Here's the payoff pitch to Zach Skinner. Runners go, and it's outside ball 4. So the bases are loaded now. Walk, a hit batter, and now Cody Howard walks Zach Skinner. And it brings Easton Culp to the plate. Culp has popped to short and then brought in Lamar's run on a base hit to left back in the 4th inning. And the former Harker Heights Knight digs in from the right side. And the first pitch, a fastball for a strike. Nothing in 1 the count. And the 0-1. This is hit on the ground to second, and they'll only be able to get 1 out. And it was the runner at second. A run will score on the play as Ryan comes in from third. Zach Skinner is forced at second on the 4-6. And over to third base goes Beheeler. An RBI on the fielder's choice ground ball from Easton Culp makes it a 3-2 ball game.
Now the interesting part is you took the go-ahead run from second base because Rodriguez very easily could have gone to first base and make sure he got an out, but that would have put runners at second and third, and it'll be Baker, his first plate appearance.
So here is Trent Baker to the plate. Baker is batting .333, and that's 1 hit in 3 at-bats is what that is. It looks like first pitch for a strike.
1 hit went out of the ballpark.
It did, and he has driven in 5 runs. A junior out of Klein Kane in the greater Houston area. Transferred in from HCU, Houston Christian. The 0-1. Foul back, no balls, 2 strikes. Good chance Trent, at least in the overlap, was a teammate of former Longhorns running back Jaden Blue, now drafted by the Dallas Cowboys, both out of Klein Kane. Texas fans trying to help out Cody Howard here and trying to limit the damage to a run having crossed the plate.
Just a signal from Galvan just to know what we're going to do to the infield, telling the yellow to say this is what we're going to do if they take off from first base.
No balls, 2 strikes, the count. The 0-2. Outside for a ball to Trent Baker. Howard looks in. Here's the stretch. And the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch to Baker. And he chops it on the ground right in front of the mound. The play is to first. The throw is to first, and the out recorded. And the inning is over. Cody Howard firing the first 1-3 on the ground out, retiring the Cardinals in the 6th. Lamar does settle for 1 without a hit. Had a little bit of a flu bug sweep through the team. And that is kept Ethan Mendoza out of the lineup tonight. So a little bit of shuffling about. Schuessler back in that leadoff spot where he was credited with an RBI hit by a pitch in the 4th inning that brought home a run. Fabian Ramirez out About to begin the bottom of the 6th inning. First pitch to Schussler. It's a fastball off the plate for ball 1. One and 0 the count. And the 1-0. It's low, 2 balls, no strikes. DT, we're posing the question, who might be the best team in the Big 12? Maybe it is 12th ranked West Virginia, although they're clinging to a 9-8 lead on Pitt. The Panthers with the bases loaded as they bat in the bottom of the 9th inning in that one. But it has been up and down. I think a warning issue there to the pitcher, Ramirez.
Yeah, about where you can't start until the hitter looks up. Each pitcher gets one warning. Yeah, West Virginia, I would agree with you, probably is the team. They're so hard to, you just don't know a lot about them. I don't. And I watch this every day.
Here's the stretch. Ramirez with a 2-0. And it's high for ball 3. 3 balls and 1 strike. Well, it's a fair question, obviously. And West Virginia almost always starts the season on the East Coast and trying to escape the February weather in the Mountaineer State. And that helps the RPI when they start that on the road. They're number 20 in the RPI. The 3-0 pitch is taken for a strike. It's 3-1. So they have a very good RPI. They've won 39 ball games. And on top of the Big 12 standings, headed down the home stretch, there's been a lot of change and a lot of topsy-turvy in the conference. Here's the 3-ball, 1 strike pitch from Fabian Ramirez to Kimball Schussler. And that's ball 4. Kimball, he was hit by a pitch back in the 4th, draws a leadoff walk here in the Texas 6th. Bring Rylan Galvan to the plate. Rylan 0 for 2 and a walk.
Smoked the ball his last time up. It's right into the teeth of the breeze.
Second walk issued by Ramirez. 11th walk and 2 hit batters. 13 free passes tonight for the Longhorns. But only a 3-2 lead as they bat here in the bottom of the 6th inning.
Haven't been able to take advantage of it. Haven't been able to get that big hit.
First pitch to Galvan outside. In fact, only 2 hits, and those came in the 2-run 4th and a bloop single to shallow center off the bat of Tommy Farmer, and an infield single from Jonah Williams, leading to the 2 runs in the inning. Williams' hit did deliver a run. That pitch bounces in the field turf for ball 2. 2 balls, no strikes. You were a very good hitter. Is it difficult? In fact, we're going to have a call to bullpen. We're going to keep it right here as there's a call to bullpen, and we'll tell you about the pitcher coming up. But as a hitter, did you often find it also difficult to get into a rhythm when there's pitcher after pitcher and they're really struggling to command the strike zone?
Well, pitcher after pitcher is difficult just because you'd like to see a person multiple times if you can.
Here's the 2-0, and that's upstairs for ball 3. 3 balls, no strikes. Three and nothing to count. Here's the 3-0 pitch, and that's taken for a strike. 3 balls and a strike to count. To Rylan Galvan with Kimball Schussler, the runner at first. Leadoff walk here in the bottom of the 6th inning. Texas leading Lamar 3-2. 3 balls and a strike to count to Rylan Galvan. The 3-1. And he swings here and sends it sky high to center. Settling under, Baker, the center fielder, with a catch. And there's 1 out.
He squared it up, but he just got underneath it.
Jalen Flores to the plate.
That's a great job out of the bullpen to come in. It's a 2-0 count. You miss with your first pitch and then find a way to get an out.
So now Flores to the plate. Drew a leadoff walk last inning and scored the 3rd Texas run. He's 0 for 2 with that walk. And the first pitch from Neal. And it snaps in for a strike. It's interesting when you're standing there and you're looking at that sidearm delivery, and that ball looks like it's headed right for your neck, and then it just bends back in.
Yeah, and it's from a different release point, too. One you're not used to.
Here's the 0-1 to Flores, and he fouls it off the screen. It's now no balls, 2 strikes. Riley Galvan's fly ball to center traveled at a rate of 105 miles per hour.
Oh, he barreled it. It went up. It was going up. Launching.
The 0-2 inside.
You can see how he's hit 15 batters.
Yeah.
And it's hard to repeat that delivery. First of all, it's tough on your body and your back to get the ball that down under like that. And then the second part is the release point is hard to repeat.
Here's the 1-ball, 2-strike pitch. And they'll throw back behind the runner, and Schussler has to dive back safely. The pitch was out of the zone, and the count is even at 2-2. That pitch misses outside. Count full now at 3 balls and 2 strikes.
Schussler should be off with this pitch.
He is, and the pitch is outside, ball 4. 11th walk. So,
At some point, you got to start taking advantage of this.
Yeah.
Just have had base runners everywhere and just haven't been able to find up that one clutch hit.
So now Gasparino to the plate. He struck out swinging twice and popped to third.
Let's go, Will!
And he bunts one. Excellent bunt. And no play for anybody. Gasparino able to drop a perfect bunt, and that'll load the bases with 1 out.
You got a right-hander. It's difficult to face a guy that's from down under. And now you get a left-handed hitter, which should see the ball well out of his hands. So I like the play there. A lot of times I don't like 1 out, first and second bunt, but it's a great play there because you get your matchup to your liking here.
Well, Gasparino leads the team in bunt base hits. You might not have figured on that going into the season. That's his 4th of the season. And it traveled at the grand total of 28 miles per hour. First pitch to Rodriguez is pulled foul. But the bases are loaded with 1 out. And as you mentioned, Keith, at some point you do have to take advantage of this thing to open it up a little bit.
It's only the 3rd hit of the game.
3 runs, 3 hits, no errors for the Longhorns. 2 runs, 4 hits, no errors for the Cardinals. Kimball Schussler at third base. Jalen Flores at second. Will Gasparino at first with 1 out. The pitch from Austin Neal. And that one bends in for a strike. And it's now 0-2 to Adrian. Nothing in 2 the count. Here's the 0-2 pitch to A-Rod. And he takes strike 3. Big strikeout for Austin Neal, and they're 2 down.
Well, that's a really nice job of a breaking ball in on his hands, a backdoor breaking ball, and then he comes back with by far his most velocity pitch, a fastball, more of a straight one, and just paints the outside corner for the strikeout. That was really well pitched at bat. Now it's going to take a 2-out knock.
Tommy Farmer had a base hit and a run scored back in the 4th. He's 1 out of 3. Neal delivers a first pitch strike.
What are you doing? There's a back and they're loaded. Let's go. Take the fucking back.
0-1 the count with 2 down. The 0-1. That's outside. Count evens at 1 ball and 1 strike. Baylor and UTRGV are 10-7 in the 7th. Baylor on top. 1 ball, 1 strike. The count of Tommy Farmer with the bases loaded, 2 down. Here's the pitch from Neal. Foul. Back 69 miles per hour. That one floated in, and the count is 1-2.
It's a breaking ball. And it just comes all the way across the zone, and it's not thrown with velocity, but he can't sneak that little fastball in there. That's what sets it up.
The 1-2. That's outside. The count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs with the bases loaded. Austin Neal, the 2-2. Swung on and fouled out of play.
That's the fastball. It just ties you up because it's 12 or 13 miles an hour quicker than his breaking ball. It's not, the velocity's not outstanding at all. It's just the difference in the 2 velocities between the breaking ball and the fastball.
Tommy Farmer facing another 2-2 pitch. And that's off the plate, ball 3. So we've gone as far as we can go. With the bases loaded, 2 outs and a 3-2 count. All 3 runners will be off on this payoff pitch coming to Tommy Farmer. Three balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. A 3-2 pitch to Tommy Farmer. And he pops this one up, right side, drifting out of play. And it was in play for a few moments, drops out. Farmer, a reprieve, will go back to the plate again.
He went to the fastball.
And folks here in the ballpark are going, wait a minute, that's like 82, 83 miles per hour. But you mentioned it's the difference.
It's the difference in the 2, and out of the same sidearm release spot, one's coming into the right-handed hitter, one's sliding away from him.
3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The bases loaded, the runner's off on the payoff pitch to Tommy Farmer, and it's outside, ball 4. The 3rd run to cross the plate for Texas because of either a walk or a hit batter. Coming in to score from 3rd is Kimball Schusler, and it's now 4-2 Texas.
Still haven't found that big hit, though, Craig. I mean, yeah, you love to get the answer here in the bottom of the 6th to get it back to a 2-run lead. You need to you can separate this game right here, right now.
Jaden Duplantier at the plate. Jaden drew a walk his last time up. First pitch is a strike. And you pointed out you can't go chasing if you're Farmer. If he's going to throw it outside the zone, you go ahead and take your base, and the run comes in.
That was a good at-bat to survive the at-bat and get the run home.
Pass the baton now to Duplantier. Now snaps in for a strike, and Gumbo down quickly. No balls, 2 strikes. Each team with a run here in the 6th. The Longhorns back up by 2 runs. No balls, 2 strikes to count. Here's the 0-2 pitch to Duplantier, and that's way outside. It's 1-2 to Jaden.
We've only had 7 hits in the game and 6 runs, but we've had base runners everywhere, both sides. Multiple free passes.
1 ball, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Here's the 1-2 pitch. Swing and a miss. Duplantier strikes out, and the Longhorns go down in the 6th. They do add a run, and they do that with 1 hit, and they leave the base. Cody Howard begins his first full inning of work. The first pitch to Grisafi. Missed upstairs for a ball. We mentioned the starter, Cade Bing, went 3 1/3, allowed all 4 Lamar hits. And one of their 2 runs, which was earned a walk, 2 strikeouts, a wild pitch. He threw 52 pitches. That pitch is a strike to Grisafi. Count even at 1-1. Ethan Walker, who's put himself in position to qualify for the win, went 2 innings, did not allow a hit, did allow 1 run, was earned with a walk, 2 strikeouts, hit a batter, and he threw 25 pitches. That pitch off the plate for ball 2 to Grizafi. And it's 2 balls and a strike, the count, to Bryce Grizafi, Grizzaffi, from Morgan City, Louisiana. Swing and miss. Began his collegiate career at Southeastern Louisiana. Aaron Hammond, that's the team that Lamar just played over the weekend in Southland Conference play, one of the contenders for the conference crown. Here's the 2-ball, 2-strike pitch, and it's low. The count is full on a fastball, so it's 3-2.
Need to throw a strike here.
3 balls and 2 strikes, the count. The payoff pitch from Cody Howard. And that's low, ball 4.
Just leadoff walks, they turn into runs.
For Howard, his second walk, and that's the 4th walk issued by Texas pitching, along with a hit batter, so 5 free passes from the Longhorns. Zane Spinn, the shortstop, is 0 for 2. He has popped to second and grounded to short, or he has flied to left and grounded to third. But the leadoff walk here in the 7th brings the tying run to the plate. And that one is right into the glove of Howard. He'll throw to first, double play. Line shot, Cody, cool as a cucumber, snags it in the glove, flip to first. That's how you erase a leadoff walk.
I mean, this is just reaction. And he just raises up, moves his body out of the way, gets his glove right on it, and able to get the double play, and it turns into a big smile in a scary situation, but 2 quick outs, just what the doctor ordered.
102 miles per hour off the bat of Zane Spinn. Right into the glove. Damian Ruiz at the plate. Looks at the first pitch for ball, and Keith, this is where you usually say this is how you want to face this guy. 2 outs and nobody on.
It's hitting 477 hits. It's 1 for 3 tonight.
Takes a pitch for a strike. The count is even at 1-1. Howard with a 1-ball, 1-strike pitch to Damian Ruiz, and it's low for ball 2, and it's 2-1. So 2 balls and a strike to count. Howard ready in the 2-1, and that's fouled back to the screen. The count is even at 2-2. Two balls, 2 strikes, the count. Howard from the stretch in the 2-2 to Ruiz. Fouls it straight back.
He's got a real nice compact swing. He stays together, doesn't get out in front. Really like his approach. He's not a real big man, but he's got a nice wide base in his stance.
Here's the 2-2, and this is hit hard and into right field, a base hit. Second hit of the ball game for Ruiz. He has 2 of the 5 hits for the Cardinals, and he becomes a 2-out base runner.
Well, you don't hit 400 at this level if you can't hit. And he's proved to me that he can go either direction, squares it up on a regular basis.
Matt Ryan, 0 for 2, but he drew a leadoff walk last inning. That led that one against Ethan Walker and ended up scoring. That run was charged to Walker. Went to 2 innings. Did not allow a hit, but the run, the walk, and hit a batter and threw 25 pitches. The first pitch misses for ball 1 to Ryan. So Howard trying to work out of this now. Here's the 1-0 to Matt Ryan. It's downstairs. 2 balls, no strikes. The count. 2-0, the count of Matt Ryan. Swing and a miss. Challenging with a fastball at 94, and it's 2 balls and a strike. So 2 balls and a strike, the count. And the 2-1 pitch from Cody Howard. Swing and a miss. Again, another fastball. This one at 93. The count is even at 2-2.
It's in a good location. Cody pitches from the third base side of the rubber, throws across his body a little bit. Right-handed hitters have a tough time sometimes on that fastball picking it up.
2 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. The 2-2 pitch. Boy, everybody on the Texas side thought it was strike 3. Infield started to move. And no dice. The count is full. So Damian Ruiz will be off from first base. Play behind the runner. 3 balls, 2 strikes, 2 outs. Howard's pitch. Swing and a miss. Struck him out. Cody Howard gets the strikeout to end the inning. Helps his own cause by snagging that line shot at 102 miles per hour to get a double play. No runs on a hit and a man left. 7th inning stretch time for the final time in non-conference play this season for the Longhorns. Here in the bottom of the 7th, it's Schuessler being hit by a pitch and then was credited with an RBI when he walked in the 5th. First pitch from Austin Neal. Didn't miss him by much, but goes inside for ball 1. Here's the 1-0. That's a strike. The inside corner. Good game going on tonight in Louisville. 20th ranked Cardinals lead 11th ranked Vanderbilt 5-4 with Vandy batting in the top of the 9th. Ball on the strike, the count of Casey Borba. He swings here and yanks it foul into the seats. And it's 1-2. Apparently a nice catch by a fan over there. You always worry about that one.
Oh, that is a liner, I tell you. Saw him get his hands. I saw the ball sort of pop up in the air. He must have popped it up in the air and then held on to it.
One ball and 2 strikes to count of Casey Borba. Right-hander Austin Neal with a pitch, and that missed upstairs to even the count at 2-2. Fabian Ramirez, pitcher before him, allowed the 4th run and didn't allow a hit. But the walk did it. He threw 8 pitches. 2 balls, 2 strikes to Borman, the pitch, and that's fouled back to the screen.
They worked to get that fastball. Just missed it. Bullpen has guys throwing for Lamar.
Two balls, 2 strikes to count to Casey Borba, leading off the bottom of the 7th. The pitch from Austin Neal, and foul back. You can see Casey trying to time it.
That's what you have to do.
Yeah,
that's what you do. You have to be prepared for the heater. When you don't see heater, you got to keep your hands back.
68 miles per hour trying to time that thing.
Big shift on in the infield.
Neal set. Here's the 2-2 pitch to Casey Borba from Austin Neal. That's outside. The count is full. With the speed up that time, it couldn't get it in the zone. Three balls and 2 strikes to count. The payoff pitch to Borba. And he fouls it back again, trying to time that. 68 again. I think Sark threw almost that fast when he threw out the first pitch against Texas A&M. So 3-2 remains to count. Borba digs back in from the right side. The right-hander, Austin Neal. Another 3-2 pitch to Casey Borba. And he takes ball 4. Casey does not have a hit tonight. but he has walked 4 times, including a leadoff walk here in the 7th.
Just have done a really nice job of taking pitches and just haven't been able to find that hit behind it. Trying to find out how many visits they have left to the mound, if they have any.
And right now, Will Davis asking.
Yeah.
Home plate umpire Clint
Just want to
Fagan.
make sure that, as if you don't have any visits left when you come out, you've got to go to the bullpen. Makes me feel like they don't want to go to the bullpen right here. They want to talk about this.
And again, it is the pitching coach, Sean McGrath, who will go to the mound and visit with Austin Neal. So, Jonah Williams waits his turn. Jonah twice has hit into an inning-ending fielder's choice with the bases loaded. And the other time came to bat with the bases loaded and delivered a little dribbling RBI infield single out to short. That plated the first Texas run. And then following that, Kimball Schuessler was hit by a pitch to bring in the second Longhorn run to give them the lead they have not since relinquished. It was 2-1 at the time. Then it got to 3-1, cut to 3-2. Now up 4-2. With the Longhorns batting here in the bottom of the 7th inning. And trying to open things up with Jonah at the plate now. The right-hander Austin Neal ready to go back to work. Here's the first pitch coming to Jonah. And he drops one foul. Tried to bunt and went right to Will Davis, the head coach of the Cardinals, in the Lamar dugout.
It's a good idea. I like with Jonah's speed, with where the third baseman is, I like him sort of taking it with him to first base. I think he can outrun the pitcher over there.
The third baseman, Ryan, now coming in from the bag at third. Jonah does square and drops a bunt foul. Again, so it's no balls and 2 strikes. Catcher Skinner was jumping on that, but it was in foul territory. So no balls and 2 strikes to count, and an offensive timeout call by Jim Schlossnagle to visit with the freshman. Often talks about, especially with the younger guys, making sure they don't get too anxious, can separate the balls from strikes, put the ball in play, especially with his speed. Williams back in now. Neal ready from the stretch, the 0-2, way outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes to count. Stretch now, and the 1 ball, 2 strike pitch to Williams, and he swings and pops this down the left field line. Going to be a tough play in foul ground and an over-the-shoulder grab. What a heck of a catch made by the third baseman, Ryan. Just went chasing it and fielded it right over the shoulder.
With a basket-type catch. It was a wonderful play. One of the best plays we've seen in a while. Turning and running, sprinting away from home plate with his back to home plate and catches it in the basket. Really nice play to get the first out of the inning.
Kimball Schuessler does not have a hit tonight. He's 0 for 2, but he's been hit by a pitch that brought in a run, and he walked last inning and scored a run, which has been an insurance run to this point. The first pitch is a strike to Schuessler. Nothing in 1 the count to Kimball. Austin Neal, the right-hander. Here's the 0-1. And Schuessler fouls it back. Now it's no balls and 2 strikes. Louisville has beaten Vanderbilt. Final 5-4. Vandy drops with to 34-15 with that loss. No balls and 2 strikes to count. And the pitch, fouled straight back.
The Longhorns, as you talk about, trying to time the breaking ball that's sort of going across the zone. It's from an angle from the side, and to really hit it, you got to think about going to to right field with it as a right-handed hitter.
Kimball's done that a lot this season. Now down on the count, no balls, 2 strikes. Here's the 0-2 pitch from Neal, and that's upstairs. Schuster taking, and it's 1-2. So now with a ball and 2 strikes, Orba draws a lead from first. And steps back to the back time call. Schuster will settle back into the box. Now the right-hander Neal. From the stretch and the 1-2 delivery coming to Kimball Schuster. And he takes down and in for ball 2. Count evens at 2 balls and 2 strikes. Two and 2 the count. Once more, the right-hander. Neal, the 2-ball, 2-strike pitch to Schuster. And he swings and pops this foul out of play, first base side. A lot of competitive at-bats for the Longhorns. Nice catch by a family of love on the concourse. Another good crowd on hand. Everybody happy that the rain moved through and on east after the heavy rains yesterday, last night, and this morning till just past noon when it started to clear out. Weather's supposed to be good this weekend for the home finale series with the Florida Gators coming to town. A 2-ball, 2-strike pitch from Austin Neal to Kimball Schuster is high, and the count is full at 3-2. Orba looking into the dugout. Does he go here on 3-2?
Yes, he's got to. I mean, we haven't seen him throw over to first base and make sure he pitches and takes off.
3 balls and 2 strikes to count. He goes, and it's ball 4. Another walk. Schuster has his 3rd free pass of the night. He was hit by a pitch to bring in a run in 4th, and he's walked his last 2 trips to the plate. That's the 4th walk issued by Austin Neal. And the runners at first and second with 1 out for Rylan Galvan. Galvan walked back in the 1st against the starter, Carter Sutton. He has since struck out swinging and flied to center twice, and he's going to see a different pitcher. It'll be a call to the bullpen now. Here in the 7th, Texas leads Lamar 4-2. Call to the bullpen.
52 against him. He's hit 5 batters. He's thrown 2 wild pitches. He comes on here. Longhorns have runners at first and second and 1 out in what is a 4-2 ball game here in the bottom of the 7th.
Lamar pitchers have walked 14 batters and hit 2 tonight. So you might say it's kind of fortunate that for them that it's only a 4-2 ball game.
Oh, absolutely.
And the way that they've been able to stay in it, Keith, is like they'll walk a batter and then walk another batter, and then they'll get a little dribbler for an out or get a strikeout, and just kind of work around it. And there's been a little bit happen where a run crosses here or there, but no big explosion as you talked about. Longhorns do not have an extra base hit tonight. They have only the infield single from Jonah Williams, the bloop in the shallow center coming. That one that was dropped in by Tommy Farmer, and Will Gasparino with a bump base hit. That's it. So 3 hits and none of the extra base variety. But I will say this: opportunistic, taking advantage, not chasing and not extending, going ahead and hitters want to hit. I know you've talked about that a lot, but good hitters also know when you can't chase pitches and go ahead and take the free pass if it's there.
Yeah, and eventually, this many opportunities, eventually it's going to hurt you. Maybe it's this opportunity right now for Texas to separate a little bit.
So now Rylan Galvan at the plate, facing Kyle Mosley, the left-hander. Mosley looks back to second. First pitch to Rylan, misses upstairs for ball one. Galvan has been good against both left-handed pitching and righties this season. Batting .297 against left-handers, .327 against right-handers. The 1-0. That's up and in for ball two. 2 balls, no strikes the count. The count. Here's the 2-0 pitch from Mosley to Galvan. And he takes high for ball 3. And some pitches, Keith, aren't.
Not even close.
Yeah, so there's no point even settling in aggressive and looking to do that and maybe expand a little bit. There's no need to. So a lot of those pitches are just not close, and that's been the case so far with Mosley facing Galvan. Runners at first and second with 1 out here in the 7th. A 3-0 delivery. And Galvan takes ball 4, and that's going to load him up. 15th walk issued by Cardinal pitching.
Now, there are times, and I think you explained it earlier, Coach Sloss in the pregame, it really was excellent when he was talking about what happens if you throw balls in the zone, early, especially early in at-bats. Guys do not hit at a great big average all the time. But if you walk people and then you give one up, it starts to really cost you.
Well, it certainly cost the Longhorns in that Saturday game against Arkansas, where they gave up the 5 home runs, but there were runners on base every time. First pitch to Flores is in there for a strike. They had 3 2-run homers and 2 3-run homers in that game, and it was walks and hit batters that helped the Razorbacks there. 0-1 the count to Flores. Mosley, the left-hander, ready to pitch to Jalen, and the 0-1. Fouls it off. No balls and 2 strikes. He's batting .275 against left-handers this year, .265 against righties. Base is loaded for Texas, all on walks here in the 7th with 1 out. An 0-2 count on Jalen Flores, and the left-hander Kyle Mosley with the 0-2. Swung on and the ball hit well but fouled. So now Schuster's at third base, Galvan at second, Flores at first, 2 down for Will Gasparino. Will, 1 out of 4, and that one was last inning, a bunt single. Here's the pitch to Gasparino. And he swings in a ground ball, hit to short. It's going to get Lamar out of the inning, a throw to first in time, and that'll do it for Texas in the 7th. No runs, no hits, and the Longhorns leave them loaded for the 5th time tonight. We go to the 8th.
All types of opportunities in this game to get some separation, but haven't been able to come up with that big knock. We go to the top of the 8th. Scoreboard totals are correct. 2 runs, 5 hits, no errors for Lamar. 4 runs, 3 hits, no errors for Texas as we play here in the top of the 8th, as Hamilton will come out, and he'll have to face the meat of this order. 3, 4, and 5 due for Lamar.
Cody Howard went an inning and 2/3, allowed 1 hit, no runs, 2 walks, a strikeout. He threw 32 pitches. So now it's put into Hudson Hamilton's hands here, and he'll face Braden Evans, the left fielder, who has scored 1 of the 2 Lamar runs. Evans has struck out swinging in the 1st, reached on a bunt base hit in the 4th, and scored and struck out swinging in the 6th. Hudson Hamilton ready to work to him, and the first pitch from Hamilton is hit on the ground, foul of an off of Hamilton's foot. Longhorn pitching tonight has walked 4 batters and hit 1, so they put 5 on there. Lamar pitching tonight has 15 walks. It's a season high for Texas to draw, and 2 hit batters, 17 free passes. As that pitch misses for a ball, and the count is even at 1 ball and 1 strike. The 1-1, and that's fouled out of play. It's 1 ball and 2 strikes now to Braden Evans, the left fielder.
Longhorns go into the shift.
Casey Borba to that second base side of the second base bag. Adrian Rodriguez in shallow right now. The 1-2. And that's hit foul off the screen on the third base side. So 1-2 remains the count. Out of the stretch, Hamilton's pitch inside, and narrowly missed hitting Evans. The count is even at 2-2.
Just look at this game. The time runs in the on-deck circle. And it's very much up for grabs for both of these teams.
2-2 pitch. And that strike 3 call got him looking. 76 miles per hour, well placed by Hudson Hamilton to get out number 1.
Took something off and just got the bite back on the outside corner. There's a curveball. Just came back, got down low enough to get into the zone.
1 down for Reese Beheeler, who has flied to right twice and was hit by a pitch and left stranded at third base back in the 6th inning. So he digs in from the left side against the right-hander Hudson Hamilton. 1 out here in the 8th. First pitch misses down and in for a ball to Beheeler. Alabama defeated Troy 10-2 was the final, and Florida did lose to South Florida 7-1, which means the Gators will come into Austin this Friday night with a 33-17 record. And it's pitched like sky high in the air. Out in the shallow left, Flores calling for it. Jalen with the play, and he makes the grab, and they're 2 down.
Not the easiest play because he's over for the shift, and he had a long way to go, but able to corral it, get under it. 2 quick outs here.
So we're 2 down. The catcher, Zach Skinner, to the plate. Skinner has not been retired at the plate. He's reached on an infield single and has walked twice. First pitch misses for a ball. Just to let everybody know, the construction vehicles are back out on the upper deck on I-35, so you have been notified.
Lots of brake lights now, aren't there?
Yeah. 1-0 pitch misses for a ball, and it's 2 balls and no strikes. Two 2-0 the count to Zach Skinner. 2 down, top of the 8th with Texas leading Lamar 4-2. Here's the stretch and the pitch. Fastball for a strike. It's 2-1. When you talk about differences in the speed rate, that's a difference of 16 miles per hour from that 76 mile an hour curveball to that 92 mile an hour heater.
Well, you've heard me say for years, hitting is rhythm and timing, and if you change speeds to get that disrupted. This ball hit well.
Yeah, out to deep right center, back to the warning track, and it's gone. That was a fastball at 91, and Zach Skinner took it out of the ballpark the opposite way. It's back to a 1-run game again at 4-3. 2-out solo homer, 5th home run of the season and 50th RBI of the season for Zach Skinner at 105 miles per hour. Traveled 390 feet with a launch angle of 32 degrees.
You can hear that sound. Left the bat, you knew it was squared up.
Now Easton Culp at the plate. First pitch is there for a strike. Culp has popped to short, brought in the first Lamar run on a base hit to left back in the 4th inning, and then reached on a fielder's choice in the 6th. So now, even without a runner on base, the tying run is at the plate for the Cardinals in a 4-3 ball game here in the top of the 8th inning. The pitch from Hamilton. This is hit on the ground firmly to third. Borba has it, sets his feet, fires to first, and the inning's over. Lamar once again pulls close. A run on a hit. The homer by Skinner. Nobody left. To the bottom of the 8th we go. Texas leading Lamar 4-3. Longhorn baseball continues in a moment. And Mosley. So Rodriguez settles in. Mosley, the left-hander, kicks and delivers the first pitch. And that's taken for strike 1. Austin Neal in an inning and a third, allowed 1 hit, no runs, walked 4, struck out 2 through 48 pitches. The 0-1. It's going final in Waco. Baylor picks up a badly needed win, their 30th of the season, a 10-7 win over UT Rio Grande Valley.
And that's a good RPI win for Baylor.
UTRGV was 31 in the RPI. The 1-1. That's strike 2 taken. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. 1-2 the count to Adrian Rodriguez. Here's the windup of the pitch. It's off the plate. It hit the target. The mitt was set up off of the plate. That's where it hit. The RPI game between 2 ranked teams. UC Santa Barbara beating USC 3-2. Santa Barbara leading or in contention along with UC Irvine in the Big West. USC, of course, a contender in the Big Ten. 2-2. This is hit on the ground, foul, pass first. Still seems a little weird to say that USC in the Big Ten, UCLA in the Big Ten, Oregon in the Big Ten.
How about those flights?
Washington.
Five-hour flights to go play a conference series.
Yeah, or let's say Wednesday night volleyball match between UCLA and Rutgers.
That's a 6-hour flight.
2 balls, 2 strikes the count. Here's the 2-2 to Rodriguez. And he swings here on a ground ball up the middle, and there it is. A-Rod extends the hitting streak to 8 games with a leadoff single here in the bottom of the 8th.
Nice job of just battling through the at-bat, finding a way to get it done. Got in on him a little bit, but just strong enough to muscle that back up the middle.
Only the 4th hit of the ball game for Texas. But it does extend Adrian Rodriguez's hitting streak to 8 ball games. Now Tommy Farmer at the plate. He started to go into a shift, and now the shift back a little bit. A-Rod draws a lead from first. The left-hander Mosley. A step and throw to first. That's more of a room service. A third game, if necessary, would be Friday evening. So hopefully Adrian can make it here for the celebration on Saturday. Here's the 0-2, a throw to first, and A-Rod is back. And Adrian Allen's team is really, really good, too.
They usually are.
No balls and 2 strikes the count. To Jaquay Stewart. The pitch from Oseguera, and it's outside. 1 ball and 2 strikes the count. Jaquay digs in from the left side. Here's the stretch from Oseguera, and the 1-2 again will be delayed as they throw back over to first.
I think with a right-handed hitter, A-Rod probably will be thinking about stealing. With the left hand, you want to keep that gap on that right-hand side of that infield open.
The 1-2. Swing and a miss. And Stewart strikes out. So Quay goes down.
You can see maybe some movement here as Borba comes to the plate.
So, the 2 down. Casey Borba does not have an official at bat tonight, but he has an RBI. He has walked all 4 times he's come to the plate, including with the bases loaded in the 5th inning. Oseguera with a pitch. Fastball there for a strike. At 89. As Keith mentioned, in the ninth, Lamar will have the 7, 8, and 9 hitters due up.
Yeah, that 4th one in the inning is a good one. That's the guy
it's important to try to get him in order. Here's the 0-1 to Borba. Way outside, it skips back to the screen, and that'll allow Rodriguez to reach second base on the wild pitch.
That could turn into be a really big play, folks.
Let's see if
Borba can come up with a base hit here.
So a ball and a strike the count. The pitch is low and away for ball 2. Two balls and a strike the count to Casey Borba. Adrian Rodriguez at second base. 2 down here, bottom of the 8th with Texas leading Lamar 4-3. Out of the stretch, Oseguera's pitch. Swung on and the ball hit well out toward right. Back to the warning track. You can say goodnight to it. Apo Taco for Casey Borba. Over the right field wall. And the Longhorns have some insurance. They now lead 6-3.
Worked it, got a fastball away, and put a charge in that one. And boy, it's just what the doctor ordered. They needed some separation and got it.
And needed a big hit, right?
Yeah, they had struggled all night to take advantage, and in 2 hits in the inning, they put a 2 spot on the board, and like you said, get that separation going to the 9th.
Jonah Williams to the plate. He is 1 out of 4 at an RBI infield single in the 4th inning. Oseguera into the windup, and Jonah swings and puts a charge in one to deep center. This one back. It'll bounce up against the wall. Here goes Jonah. He'll stop at second with a 2-out double. His second extra base hit as a Longhorn as he knocks it over the head of the center fielder, Trem Baker.
We put a charge in this, too.
That close to the deepest part of the ballpark between the 400 and 405 distances. That's his second double as a Longhorn. He had one against Arkansas. Now Kimball Schuessler to the plate. Kimball still in search of a hit. He has reached base 3 times, twice on walks. Credited with an RBI when he was hit by a pitch with the bases loaded, and he scored after walking in the 6th. 6th hit of the ball game for the Longhorns, matching Lamar in the number of hits tonight as the pitch misses down and in for a ball. Bats coming to life here late in the ball game. Stretch from the right-hander, Oseguera, and the pitch. Down and in for a ball that'll close the book on Kyle Mosley in an inning of relief. He'll have 1 hit, 1 run that was earned, walk, a strikeout. He threw 21 pitches. Second run obviously charged Oseguera on the 2-run homer from Casey Borba. Longhorns would like to score. Jonah Williams from second. Pitch is a strike to Schuessler. And it's 2 balls and a strike to Kimball. Two and 1 the count to Schuessler with 2 down. A 2-ball, 1 strike pitch. And that's fouled. Off the top right near the Texas dugout. It's down 2-2.
Tell he was looking for something different than that fastball and was tardy on it. But 2 strikes, he'll think about going that other way for sure.
2 balls and 2 strikes the count. Here's the 2-2 pitch from Ethan Oseguera to Kimball Schusler. Just caught a piece of it, fouled it at the plate. Keep the at-bat alive. Longhorns countering the Lamar run in the top half of this inning. With 2 here in the bottom of the 8th on the homer by Borbin. Now Jonah Williams standing at second base. Back-to-back extra base hits. A 2-run blast by Borbin, the double from Jonah Williams. Another 2-ball, 2-strike pitch to Schusler. And it's low, blocked by the catcher Skinner, and the count is full. Three balls and 2 strikes the count. Here's the payoff pitch. Schusler swings and hits a ball down the left field line. This would carry if it stays fair, but it does not. Well, that was close. Certainly had home run distance on it, but curved foul just prior to the foul pole.
The other part of that is that a little bit of breeze didn't help keep that fair. It's sort of blowing now more from right field over the right field scoreboard. And just kept pushing it, just barely fouled.
This is where you can hear that one's in the little league. Hit one like that down the line. Straighten it out, straighten it out.
Yeah, just get that run in right now. You need all you can get.
Time called. Davis with a question for the home plate umpire, Glenn Fagan. Thoughts on what this conversation?
Yeah, it's where Galvan is lined up.
Okay.
Again, it's got to be in line between third base and home plate. If you're in that line, then you're okay. You're completely legal. If you're straight now, you get on the foul part of that, and you're not in a legal position.
Now Schusler
long pause for a guy that's got a 3-2 pitch. I don't know if I'd do that to my pitcher.
That's a good point. 3 balls and 2 strikes to count to Kimball Schusler. Here comes another 3-2 pitch from Ethan Oseguera. And that's low, ball 4. Maybe it did kind of take him out of rhythm, but Schusler walks for the 3rd time in addition to being hit by a pitch.
This is the 6th plate appearance of the game for both Schusler and now Galvan.
Galvan walked back in the 1st. He struck out swinging, flied to center twice, and then walked in the 7th, last inning. A lot of guys reaching base, though not necessarily by way of hitting the ball. But they have come up with a couple of hits here, extra base hits here in the 8th. First pitch is there for a strike. Oseguera trying to pick up a call from the dugout on the pitch counter. Now goes to the stretch, a look back toward Williams at second base. The 0-1. Down and in. Count evens at 1 ball, 1 strike. Sixteenth walk issued by Lamar pitching and 2 hit batters. Every Lamar pitcher has walked at least 1 batter. The 1-1. That's low for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike.
I just think it's 6, even if they were all 4 pitches. That's 75 pitches that are
outside the zone.
That are outside the zone.
2 balls and a strike the count. And the 2-1 swing and a miss from Galvan. Count is even at 2-2. Jonah Williams at second base. Kimball Schusler at first. 2 down. 2 runs home for Texas here in the bottom of the 8th. Now up 6-3 on Lamar. The 2-ball, 2-strike pitch to Rylan Galvan. That is low when the count is full, and the runners will be off on this 3-2 pitch. 3 balls and 2 strikes to count. Here's the 3-2 pitch to Galvan, and he swings and lines it to left field, a base hit. 1 run scores. Schuster motoring around third. He's being waved to the plate, and he'll score. A double from Ryland Galvan opens it up now. 3rd extra base hit of the inning. The Longhorns now lead at 8-3.
Nice job with being in motion. And allowed the runners to be off, and Schuster doing a nice job of cutting inside of the corner, be ready to go. Saw he was being sent, turned on the jets and found a way to get there. It took a while, but Longhorns finally get that separation inning.
So now it's an 8-3 ball game. Jalen Flores to the plate. 7th hit of the night for Texas. 4 runs have crossed the plate here in the bottom of the 8th, and Flores singles to right. That'll drop in. Rounding third, Galvan being waved to the plate. The throw, not in time. Flores goes the opposite way with a base hit, and it's 9-3 Texas.
Eventually, the hits are starting to fall now. They had all those opportunities and couldn't get it done. Now the 9th batter of the inning coming to the plate here in a 5 spot in the 8th.
Well, the Longhorns have scored 5 runs in the inning, and they have 5 hits in the inning. Now Will Gasparino has a bunt single tonight. He's 1 out of 4. First pitch. He swings and lifts it foul out of play. Longhorns had 3 hits. 4 runs on 3 hits coming into the bottom of the 8th. And come up with 5 runs on 5 hits. Only to be certain a walk factored in as well, because walks have factored in all night long. But the hits have been plentiful here in the home half of the 8th. Throw to first, and Flores is back. Stretch from Ethan Oseguera. The 0-1. Swung on, yanked foul. Longhorns lead the overall series with the Cardinals 35-7. The verge of going to 36-7. Of course, they've met at NCAA regional play. Controversial ending in '84. Slide at the plate. Tag. That happened in '84. 0-2 the count in the 0-2. Swung on and the ball hit well out to dead center. This was some carry back, pedaling to make the catch. Is Trent Baker, and that will retire Texas in the 8th. But the Longhorns send all 9 hitters to the plate in the 8th. They score 5 runs on 5 hits with a runner left on base. We go to the 9th. Texas 3 outs away from getting back in that win column. They lead Lamar 9-3. Longhorn baseball continues in a moment. Trent Baker to the plate. He entered in the 6th and grounded back to the box. The first pitch misses upstairs for ball 1. Hamilton sets himself. And this pitch is fouled out. On the strike to count. Stretch from Hamilton in the 1-1. That's outside. And it's 2 balls and a strike. So 2-1 to Trent Baker. And the stretch and the pitch. Misses inside. 3 balls and a strike as this game touches the 3 hour and 40-minute mark. Whatever it takes to get the win, right? 3 balls and a strike to count to Trent Baker. Here's the 3-1. That's in there for a strike. Fastball there, and the count is full at 3 balls and 2 strikes. Three and 2 to Trent Baker. Hamilton set, the payoff pitch. And there it is, strike 3. Second strikeout for Hudson Hamilton. So that's out number 1 here in the ninth. So for Lamar, we're going to have a pinch hitter coming up. Stepping in from the left side will be Logan Ham. He's a senior from Bridge City. Began his collegiate career at Houston. Left-handed hitter. Digging in against the right-hander, Hudson Hamilton. Swing and a miss. 92-mile-an-hour fastball. Ham is batting .216 for the season. 2 homers and 9 runs batted in. 0-1 the count to Logan Ham. Batting for Rizafi, the second baseman. Pitch misses for a ball. One ball and 1 strike the count. And the pitch. Down and in for ball 2. 2 balls and a strike the count. Hamilton looks in now. Here's the 2-ball, 1 strike pitch to Logan Ham. He swings here in a high fly ball to left, playable for Jonah Williams. He'll trot in, settle under, and make the catch, and they're 2 down. The Longhorns an out away. So 2 outs, and we'll have another pinch hitter coming up for the Cardinals. It's going to be for the Cardinals. Hunter Rabondo will come in. So Rabondo is a right-handed hitter, and he'll bat with 2 down here in the ninth. Hamilton trying to lock down his first career save. And this is hit on the ground. He's going to get it as up with it on the throw to first in time. Jalen Flores makes the play, 6-3, and the Longhorns bounce back into the win column tonight in their final non-conference game of the season. In the ninth, 1-2-3 go the Cardinals. The final score tonight, the Texas Longhorns 9, the Lamar Cardinals 3. We thank those of you watching on ESPN Plus. For those of you listening on the radio side, we'll have the post-game show coming up. Keith will be down on the field with head coach Jim Schlossnagle. We'll visit with a Longhorn player, have the highlights, stats, the SEC scoreboard, and all that. It's all coming up on the radio post-game side of things. Again, the Longhorns win it. Texas with win number 39 of the season. They're 39-8 with 1 final series remaining. The Florida Gators come to town Friday, Saturday, and Sunday. Final score here tonight from UFC Dish Falk Field. The Texas